What up, Tuesday painting stream crew? We got a sub from Said Hunter for 7 months. Thank you, Said Hunter. And also a raid from Reaper Manchester for 40. Thank you, Reaper. We appreciate it. How you guys doing this Tuesday? My wife just gave me this can of liquid death. I've never drank it before. I'm assuming it tastes like very standard water. Awesome. Art Freak, thank you for the subs. 18 months. Yep, that's water.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
Wow. So today for the stream, I'm just gonna finish basing the Silence Men that I finished painting last time. We like pinned, I think, 2 of them to their bases. So I'll pin the rest of their bases, add on some tufts if I need to like hide any like egregious pinning jobs that I kind of like, you know, messed up the bases or whatever, or like clipped off a portion of their feet. And then we're gonna get on to doing some mail time because it's gonna be relevant to the rest of the stream, which is like a little bit of a foray into soft body versus hard body paints, what the differences are between them, like the general differences. And then yeah, so that's the stream for today. There's a giveaway going on right now for a 50 sub goal, where we're giving away a set of Scale Color instant paints. I believe it's the poison one. Okay, appreciate that you did it. Poison flask. So we have a blue here, a red, a green, a yellow, a couple different greens, another yellow. So it's kind of like magical potion-y colors. So far, all I see are soft bodies. Rude. Dead Medic 22 and NGC_5128. Thank you for these subs, both Prime subs. Appreciate it, guys. If you guys didn't know, you can attach your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account and sub to one Twitch channel for free every single month. You have to re-up it every single time. It doesn't do it automatically. We appreciate that Prime sub if you got it. That tastes like tap water. Man, water is just so interesting. Like at the state fair in Minnesota, there's like a like an ecological building that has like a lot of plant stuff and a lot of cool like plant art stuff. But also there was a booth there that was like a water taste test, and you could taste well water, you could taste water on Indian reservations, you could taste water like in the city, and you could taste all the differences. And it's actually really interesting. Very easily the Indian reservation water was very clearly the best. It was super clean and very refreshing. Oh dang, we got some more subs. SRQ Mini Painter, Randy GBiv, and Barry NCO and Enoch Crew all hit us up with Prime subs. Thank you.
Also, we got a $3.33 donation from TJB Dev.
Hell yeah, TJB.
Show me those hard bodies.
Are you quieter today, or is my system being weird? I don't know. What do you think, Evan?
I think that your system's being weird, but I'll check.
Okay. 19 months, keep this ride going. Hell yes. The bar is indeed not working. We just got between 7 and 9 subs, and it didn't go up at all. Well, Evan will take care of that.
Yeah.
A couple more.
I love when tools don't work.
Yeah, I know. Have a good stream, duder. I appreciate it, TJB. Have a good day yourself as well. See you later, man. I missed the fair this year. Dude, I never miss it. My wife is a fair aficionado. She will not miss it a single time, and she always brings me with. All right.
Because the Minnesota State Fair is the best.
It is. It's awesome. It's a sight to behold. All right, I'm going to drill the holes for 2 more feet, and then we'll get on to pinning. Actually, 1 more foot.
Vic Morales subscribing with Prime for 2 months in a row. Good job. Why doesn't my sub goal work?
I hate how the Dremel seemingly increases in RPM, even though it has like these static speeds that you set it to, but it so clearly just gets faster and faster over time. I don't know if it's really a problem, but it's just kind of annoying. Flapjack Nickelsack, thanks for the Prime stuff.
I love that name. So.
That's a good name. Wow Stick ASMR. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's much ASMR, but yeah.
Yeah, we need to get you a Wow Stick, Scott.
I got one at my home, with a battery-powered one. But yeah, I probably need one for here as well. Okay, now we need some pinning material. We'll go with the classic tried and true paper clips.
5, 6, 7, 9.
What we're working on, we're just gonna finish up this Silenced Men unit that I finished painting last stream, just to get them pinned to their bases that I already have completed here. Just to have them in time for this Thursday's gaming stream. If you guys didn't know, there's a bit of a schedule change in the gaming stream. We're gonna stream on the first and third Thursday of the month, so kind of reducing our output by half, just to kind of loosen up on the schedule a little bit. Don't want to get burnt out doing it, and we love doing it. It's a fun. The live productions are a fun challenge that I want to keep like trying and improving at. But yeah, we can't do it so much to the point where we get burnt out and then don't want to do anything else. So yeah, we have a gaming stream this Thursday. It's a Song of Ice and Fire. It's me versus Curtis, my nemesis, who normally beats me every single time we play. But in recent past, I actually triumphed over him. So we're gonna see if I can keep that going. He's probably gonna bring like an actual list this time. I think last time he was experimenting with a weird new Targaryen commander. So we'll see what he does. Are we gonna see the home setup? Honestly, I was thinking about that. You know,
It's secret.
I have a lot of video ideas, and I'm like trying to figure out which video should be the first video of the new year. I have a couple that are like in progress right now, but I'm not like super enthusiastic about them. One is like an interview for what I think is like America's like only full-time box artist. So someone who has actual benefits from a company that's hiring them for 40 hours a week of work. Or like maybe like one or two of them exist in America, as far as I can tell. So I have that interview that's being edited right now, and then I have another one which is a short, like an actual narrative short, not like a funny goofy skit with like a joke. It's like a actual short story. But I'm not really confident in either of those two, so I'm trying to think of a better idea. Is it possible to have those streams more EU friendly? Barry NKO, the painting streams are designed to be EU friendly and the gaming streams target America. So that's kind of our, I don't know, what my idea was for the stream schedules at least. There's definitely a chance where we could like maybe do a gaming stream every now and then at a more EU friendly time, obviously though. But it probably won't change entirely to that schedule. All right, I'm just gonna clip a bunch of pins here. I need 12. Alamo6, thanks for gifting a sub to PC Tyler. Make sure to thank him in the chat. So I watched a new movie this weekend called Mad God. If you guys don't know what Mad God is, it was made by this guy named Phil Tippett. And Phil has been working on this movie for 30 years. I don't know if he's been actively working on it for 30 years or he had like the idea and was like kind of developing it for 30 years, but it's a stop motion animation movie. I thought it was entirely stop motion animation, but it isn't. There's definitely some non-stop motion elements in it, but it's largely stop motion. So every scene is like a diorama. It's pretty gruesome. So if you're like not into that kind of thing, I would avoid it. But it was incredible. It was incredible to watch. Mad God is so fucking good. Glad to hear you enjoyed it as well. Do you have a nice display cabinet for your minis, or are you an IKEA guy? I have 0 display cabinets. I'm not even an IKEA guy. I need to solve that problem though, because I need somewhere to put my goddamn models that are painted. At the moment, they're just sitting on my fucking editing desk or in foam in one of my cabinets.
Or at the source.
What was that?
You have some in a cabinet at the source.
Oh yeah, I have some painted models at a cabinet in the source. If you're local and want to check them out. Working on it off and on for 30 years. Okay, that's what it was. Looks like there's 11 subs in chat and 9 on the counter. Can't the chair help us out? Daddy needs a new paint set. Oh, I'm sure he'll get on it.
Yeah, it's one of those manual days. Why doesn't Streamlabs work today? Who knows? That's cool.
Mine are under my desk in clear plastic carrying cases. Not very displayed, but dust-free. Excellent, excellent. I do want some kind of nice display case. I want to like make a little display case with some placards in it that for every model that I painted for a video has the name of the video on the placard and also the year or month it came out. It's like a tiny little Miniac museum in a way.
How many views it got in the first week?
Oh, sure, yeah. That'd be fun. 3. There are some that I wish I could put in there, like the Renegade Night Titan. 3, 6, 8. 4 more pins. That sounds like something you could design and print. What do you mean? Like a case? Or did I mention a tool? Scale 75 instant color giveaway today got me hype. Excellent. Phil Tippett was involved in some awesome stuff. Star Wars, Starship Troopers, Jurassic Park. Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
I just can't imagine working on one thing for 30 years.
Yeah. Don't enroll in Golden Demon. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't have to work on Golden Demon for 30 years to win. Vince taught me that.
That's true. The little display placard thing? Oh yeah, for sure. I was just thinking actually a piece of cardstock that I just like cut into a square and folded into a rectangle. I didn't think it was gonna be anything nicer than that. But I could make it nicer, you're right. We got a sub from Zero Brutality. Zero! Thanks for the prime sub. We're doing a giveaway. You can see at the bottom of the stream there for the Poison set, Poison Flask set from Scale 75. Their instant paint line. What up, DP Chimp?
Hello.
Hello. All right, let's get some super glue up in here, and we'll start putting some pins in these feet.
Super glue.
Super. Yeah, what do you guys think you want to see for a video? First video of the year. RLLSRYC gifted a sub to Janelle Sen. Thank you. However you pronounce your name.
It's Rilsik, obviously.
I was thinking of doing another hobby desk roast because that's fun.
Mycelium Veins wants more drunk mini painting.
Ah, yes.
Always the classic.
Kill your friends, drunk mini painting. Yeah, okay, it's Rolls Royce without the vowels. Of course, of course. Kill your friends, that'd be good. I would say that painting this unit right now is a step toward the next Kill Your Friends, which would be a Song of Ice and Fire. Gotta have a fully painted Greyjoy army. Diorama. I have a lot of Warhammer to do, but I need motivation to do it.
No, you don't.
Why doesn't he need it?
Because motivation is a myth. Just do it.
Just do it. Just get good.
It's not even about getting good. I just think that motivation is often an excuse for not doing things.
Oh, for sure it is.
Treat it like a job. Yeah.
That's healthy.
Yeah, habit over motivation every time.
Will of the Brush.
Will of the Brush.
Oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day, Icarus. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone else in chat as well. If you got a significant other, do something nice for him. Ah, no, pin, please. Have you ever made an army board for displaying at a tournament? If so, any tips? I haven't, but that is a very cool thing. I have an idea. I want to make an army display board that can also double as a backdrop for cool shots. And so I wanted to make like the front wall of a castle with the door and like sconces and like maybe some cool stained glass windows that can also be like, you know, I want the windows to be like actual see-through, so I could like put like a fire effect through them in the back when like, you know, staging a cool shot for like, say, a vampire paint job. So I haven't, but I have been thinking about it lately. Oh yeah, that was a question right there. I'd love to do a video on painting non-human skin tones. Interesting. So I guess the question would be is, what makes skin tones special when you remove the hue? Like what makes skin read as skin? This pin is totally fucked. I'm going to drill a new one. It's heavy body, not hard body, but we like saying hard body. But you are right, it is heavy body.
Oh, it's pretty hard, as I thought. Stresses me out so much.
The drill just pushes so easily through the model that there's like this temptation just to like see how far you can drill the pin before it like comes out of his ankle or something.
And into your thumb.
Yes. Yes. Knock knock, who's there? Love who? I love who? Like the band Who? What up, girl painting? But it's not hard. That is true, it is not hard. Spoken like a true soft body. You can carpenter your own display case and make a video on it. That is true. I've never made something with a lot of glass in it. So I wonder how challenging that would be. I guess effectively you're just making a bunch of frames, right? And then you're gonna put the glass in it.
Pretty much.
Probably just order a bunch of the glass cut to size from like Ace Hardware or like whatever, like Home Depot.
Yep.
Okay. We got all the feet pinned. And now we'll start drilling holes in the base based on each model and where it's standing and what features are on the base, just to kind of make sure we're getting in the right spot. Can use clear acrylic instead of glass. You're right. I don't really know what the differences would be. I don't know if like acrylic would sag or if you got thicker acrylic, if it would be less translucent than glass would. I don't know what the downsides of the two would be. Use transparent aluminum? That's a thing?
It's a thing in Star Trek. It's a theoretical thing.
Okay. Knowing the risks of casting bases, would you ever do it again? I don't think I would do it again, but not because of the risks so much, just because it's just so extra. Like if you have a really ornate base that's like a pain in the ass to make, like maybe. But otherwise, it's so extra. And bases are supposed to be kind of like easy, at least for me they are. Acrylic is far easier to machine than glass. That is true. Glass does suck to cut. Yeah, that's why I would just get it like I would just get them pre-cut at a place. You could use unobtainium to window your display case. Nice, nice. What up, Just Seppuku? Acrylic does scratch far easier. That is true. That is one thing that would be not as nice. Tendycon is a subcon Adepticon. Yes, Huddleston, that is why. Scott, just make the Barrister bookcase from the Wood Whisperer. Oh my God. I don't think I could ever make something the Wood Whisperer could make. I feel like that guy is like the mini, he's like the carpenter version of me, the mini painter. You know how like, you got mini painters who are like, whatever, I'll paint a model in 10 minutes and I'm fine with that. And I'm over here painting a model in 40 hours. And that's the same thing as the Wood Whisperer. He's like, he's doing all kinds of crazy carpentry stuff. Little base model here. Some of them have the wood in the back, some have the wood in the front. I'm kind of just mixing it up. How early can we pre-reg for Tendycon? You know, I was thinking, I was like, if someone wanted to like start a convention, like from day one, like you could, I guess you could do pre-registration on a platform like Kickstarter just to like sell tickets that way to get like funding so you could like, you know, pay for things like renting venues and stuff like that. Like the question is like, how do you get the capital, right, to afford running a convention in the first place? And that would be an option, but trust me, I have zero plans on doing another Kickstarter campaign, so don't worry. I'm not gonna do that. Are you a frontwood or backwood kind of person? I don't know what that means. Minicon, make it happen. I have to, you know? It's so perfect that I'm in Minnesota. I'm like, it's preordained.
What's more shocking to me is that it hasn't already been done.
Right.
We do have a lot of cons here, though.
Wait, who is the Wood Whisperer and how much is OF? I'm not sure what you mean by the question, Vic Morales, but the Wood Whisperer is just a YouTuber who's a carpenter. Usually when you sign the contract with the venue, payment isn't due right away, aside of maybe a deposit. You can then sell tickets normally before the payment due date. Oh, okay, cool. Cool, didn't know that. The problem with these bases is that all the ones with the beaches, I've sloped forward. And so the guys kind of tend to stand, if I put them like this, which is what my original plan was, they're kind of leaning forward, which is generally not what you want. And so I tend to kind of put them at a bit of an angle, but as you can see, it does make the pinning situation challenging because I need to pin that on an angle or bend the pin, because otherwise he like stands in there and his other foot's kind of just floating in the air. So I need to try to pin it on an angle. If you had a base, would your wood be in the front or the back? Oh, like in real life. I feel like it'd be in the back.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
We need an Evil Dead miniature game? I agree.
I think they just need to make an Evil Dead expansion to Don't Look Back.
Don't Look Back? I was going to say Zombicide.
Yeah.
I feel like they'd be all over that. Scott, what is in the front? Nice. I see what you're doing. Ever talk about Minnesota, but never Maxisota? I know.
Maxisota.
Let's see how well I did that angle. Not that well. And this is why you save little shrubs, because then, or this is why you put on tufts so you can hide things like that. We need an alien expansion for Don't Look Back. Ooh. Have you played any more Marvel Crisis Protocol? The new Psylocke mini is sick looking. No, I haven't. I haven't played any new or any more Marvel Crisis Protocol. Although strangely enough, when I went to LVO, I saw Ryan Vega in the terminal. We were on the same flight to LVO together because he was going there to play Marvel Crisis Protocol. And so yeah, we sat and chatted for a bit. But if you guys weren't there for the stream, Ryan Vega was the guy who helped me learn Marvel Crisis Protocol. Nice. Just finished build and priming the Duchess. Any extra tips you might not have covered in the class? Careful for the sword and the guard. Those things seem to break really easily. So yeah, just be careful that you don't bust it. Oh, this guy's gonna be easy to pin because he has straight legs that aren't super widespread. Look up the fiasco, the Toy Soldier convention that's been canceled after 40 plus years due to new management negotiations with the Hyatt in Schaumburg. That doesn't sound very good. Do you have like a TLDR for me to understand what the gist was? Is it a recent thing or is this a something else? OHGR23, thanks for the Prime sub. Already glued. Lol. So that already broke. Feels bad.
Yeah. Wait, did the bar just work that time?
I think I hit the magnet. So let me clip this a little shorter here.
It's me, Sam NYC.
Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Where are my T-Swift fans at? What are those? What are they called? What does Taylor call her fans? Swifties? Twifties?
Yeah, I think Swifties is it.
Swifties. So, Miniac, what's your stance on the most recent GW price rise? Still in the cherry green area, or did it breach the unaffordable barrier? If not, what would be the barrier for you? Swifters. Great question. It's like a hard thing to get upset about, right? Because it's like, oh, it's 6%. It's not that big of a deal, right? But then you combined it with like all the other price hikes over the course of however many years, and it begins to become something unaffordable.
Begins to,
right? It's hard to say because I don't often buy GW figures a lot like at retail price. I'll buy them from websites. I discount them between 20 and 30%. And I'll get them for free every now and then, or I'll get them from on sale from the source because they have like a discount in store as well. Or I'll buy like used stuff on eBay. So I don't know. I don't really feel the price hikes ever. So I don't really get that upset, but I don't know. How about you guys? What do you guys think? At what point does GW become unaffordable to the point where you stop playing the games? It's kind of a hard question to answer, right?
I mean, I'm not going to stop playing the games, but I've already committed to the fact that aside from this Stormcast army, I don't intend to buy anything from GW.
Aside from this 8,000 point Stormcast army.
Hey, I've given some of it away, so
nice.
I'm back below 8,000 points.
Okay, good.
Just barely.
Spatsnat, thank you for the Prime sub, or just normal sub, for 4 months, no less.
But a big part of the reason that I chose Stormcast was because I was able to get a substantial portion of that for huge discounts.
Yeah. Well, we got a $15 donation from Will the Brush. Only been in the hobby since November, but you've been a massive help. Little did you know. Lol. Big fan of Tup. Oh, can you read the rest of that, please?
Yeah. Big fan of Tup, and also been working my way through the back catalog. Oh, hang on. They're in London. And also been working my way through the back catalog. Cheers, bud, and buy yourself and maybe John some tendies. Will from London, UK.
Thank you, Will. I appreciate the donation a lot, man. Thank you so much. The secondhand market is where I get most of my minis. The Troll Trader is probably the best source of used minis for good deals. Troll Trader, is that a website? Is that a eBay reseller? I stopped playing because, damn, the chat's moving fast. I got in a kill team. I'm fortunate in that a friend of mine works at a large online retailer and I can get stuff at a marginal above cost. That's nice. Dang, chat's moving really fast right now. I'm sorry if I missed your question or comment.
Do I need to make the chat bigger?
Can you? Is that an option?
Yeah, give me a second. Let me come up here. Oh, no, hang on. You gotta guide me. Wait, no, that's right. I have a way to do this.
Damn it.
Don't drill into your hand.
I drilled in the magnet.
The magnet is replaceable. Your hands aren't. Hey, how's your thumb doing, by the way?
My thumb is doing way better.
Okay, good.
It still hurts when I push down on buttons and stuff, like cell phone buttons, like the lock button, but it's way better. It's not bruised anymore.
How's my positioning?
It's great. You made it wider, so that kind of covers more of the screen.
Yeah, you don't need to see the screen.
Okay.
It is kind of true. You don't actually need to see. As long as you can see where the center line is.
Nerdforge replaced part of her hand. So I know that for a while she's had kind of a weird finger. Did it get chopped off? I didn't watch that video yet. Appears to be a long story, but 2023 Chicago Toy Show was canceled. Shenanigans by management, probably best to Google this. The show was, message gone. You had Miniac withdrawals already. What up, Phil Metalhead?
The show was a family-run show.
Okay. That's unfortunate. But yeah, maybe we should look that up and talk about that on the podcast. Lost it to a table saw. Fuck, dude. That sucks.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That is the iconic table saw injury.
Yeah, it is. Reminds me of a guy. I worked with a guy who cut into his hand trying to cut an avocado in half. Dang, dude. It was a circular saw. That's even more brutal if it was a circular saw. I'm buying Underworld's out-of-print items at sky-high prices on the secondary market, but if you want something bad enough, you pay for it. I just spread my purchases over time. There you go. So maybe the solution to GW products is just to, go for the skirmish game stuff nowadays as opposed to the bigger game stuff.
Anyway, I was saying about that before we got sidetracked with chat stuff was the reason I chose Stormcast initially is because I could get things at a huge discount.
Huge.
And it's true, even though I have like 7,000 points, I'm probably only about in money-wise where I would be on like 2,500 points in another faction.
Yeah. You also buy a lot of stuff on discount.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like there's Stormcast is the most discounted faction because it's been in every starter for every edition. There's tons of them out there. I have bought some stuff at MSRP, but mostly it's just like one-off characters and so on. I got a Dominion box for $100. I got another Dominion box for free. I got dragons at a discount and some other stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not in that deep, but my answer is just get a 3D printer. GW wants to keep raising their prices at an aggressive rate. It just makes printers that much more appetizing. Death to the sprue.
Vote with your dollars, people.
Damn
Scotty
right.
Bugatti, what's up, my man? What up, Caleb Sweet?
Discount or full price is irrelevant if they sell out before you can check your online cart. That's true.
Someone asked, how do you stop the misting from happening when using super glue on your bases? I am indeed using super glue. I don't know. When I use super glue and I use accelerant, I don't get any misting. The misting happens when you use water as an accelerant. So either by like breathing on it with your hot breath and then the moisture condensating on the model, causing that misting, or using literal water.
If you're in a really, really high moisture environment, like if you live in the tropics or something, you will run into misting regularly. Mm-hmm. To which the answer is get a dehumidifier. Aldrich Knight resubscribing with Prime for 7 months.
What up, Adric Knight? Awesome site with the Prime sub.
What did I say? Aldrich Knight.
Yeah,
Adric Knight.
Death to the sprue.
Death to the sprue. There's even a song for that.
There is?
Yeah.
The problem with skirmish GW games is that now they are doing a super fast, limited time, quantity release schedule. FOMO at its finest sucks. Yeah, I suppose that does suck. It's like you can't even invest in this game because the models are out for a little bit and they're gone and they go on into the secondhand market and they cost a ton of money.
Listen, GW has done many scummy things, but they have not yet introduced unit loot boxes for their game. There are very little randomization out there, but I can imagine a dark future in which it's like you buy for a faction and you don't know what's in the box. Yeah, I'm going to buy a $50 Stormcast booster.
Don't give them any ideas.
It's guaranteed to have a minimum of 130 points inside it, Scott.
Oh, God. I think that'd be truly the death of GW if they did that.
I would not. Yeah. Yeah, that could be a OGL moment for them.
Yeah.
Bowl Soup resubscribed with Prime for 2 months. Thanks so much for all the great content. How is your 3D printing journey going?
It's a little dead in the water at the moment. Let me explain why. So I 3D printed these guys. And it took a long time to get them to print correctly. I had to do all the supports myself. And then I had this brilliant idea of 3D printing them in resin that's like kind of super brittle. I think I have a piece that's broken on my desk. Maybe I threw it away. But I'm like really scared to invest time in painting this 20-man unit of grave guards, essentially, only to have them break when I drop them very lightly. And so now I'm kind of like, okay, I want to reprint these in a different resin. But like an idiot, I deleted all of the files of the supported models. So it's like, do I just paint this unit?
Why did you do that?
It was an accident.
Okay. Then it's acceptable.
Okay, yeah. I re-downloaded the same folder just to check on something with the originals. And then I wanted to delete that one I re-downloaded, and I deleted the fucking wrong folder. Like an idiot.
That's so painful.
And it took me so long. Each one of these models took so fucking long to do. Because all these chainmail bits... Oh god, every loop of the chainmail pretty much based on the orientation needed support at the bottom of it. Which actually, question for you guys, if you do a 25 micron layer height, are you gonna get more islands than you would at a 40 micron layer height? I'm pretty sure you would, right?
Kind of. Your horizontal resolution also can create islands.
Right, yeah, I figure any kind of extra fidelity is gonna cause more problems. Oh no, why? Because I'm an idiot. The sweet spot is 37 microns. I crunched the numbers. Why is that the sweet spot? I'm curious. You don't need to support those loops. No way that would show. So that's the other thing that I actually realized. I'm using Lychee, and with Lychee, you can like specify real, like I forget all the modes of island detection that you can do, but I did real for all of them. And then I was like, I asked on that Discord, the Atlas Discord, I was like, do you guys really like support all of these things? And everyone was like, no, we don't go that intense with it. So I think I should just kind of back off a little bit and do a 40 micron layer height and just not be so intense with the islands, and then just redo it and print them in a resin that is more flexible. But damn, that's a lot of work to do, and I kind of want to just paint the unit, so that's where I'm at. I'd crunch your numbers. Relax. Sounds like you should hit Evan's boy once in a 6 side for a collab. And man, if I can get someone to do that for free, fuck yeah, I'll do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a collab. Support my minis, please.
Yes, support my minis, and I will shout you out in a video.
Once in a 6 side has been tremendously helpful for me. That very good YouTube channel, but also their Discord. I like the Atlas Discord, but it's big and there's a lot of noise to signal in there. And the Once in the 6 side Discord is very small and is very good signal to noise. So for those of you that are subs, you'll see my first big print I did last night, which was a Spartan cast dragon from Miniac. And it came out really good. Nice. Really, really good.
That's awesome. Someone said 10%, Rufus said 10% Soraya Tenacious mixed into your resin of choice. Yeah, that's actually an interesting thought. I have another Soraya Tech resin called Blue Obsidian. It's their tooling resin. And I thought that I would mix some of that into my kind of more fragile resin to do a similar thing. And I think I mentioned this in the past, but on Lychee, you can upload your profile for your resin so that people can see it. And they kind of save it in the cloud. And I noticed that someone was using the resin that I use, that salmon colored orange stuff. And they also used the other resin I have, Blue Obsidian, mixed together. There was a profile of the two that I happen to have mixed together on Lychee's slicer. And so I figured I might give that a shot before buying more resin. I have a problem when I print bigger models. On the side of supports, I always get some warping. Is it over or under exposure? Lift speed, a little support? I always get some warping on the side. So the supports are bending, girl painting? Is that what's happening? What up, Flawless Smith? Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it.
I think bending and warping is often caused by temperature issues. But it really depends. It's one of the problems with resin printing in particular is there's like 5 million ways for things to fail.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to get false positives or the things crossed up because a lot of them look really similar. A lot of things that get blamed on your settings are actually just the supports for the mini suck. And
it's incredible, honestly.
It's wild.
How much shit can go wrong with 3D printing. Like in that video where I compared 2K, 4K, and 8K printing, I can't even guarantee that was like necessarily a scientific result, because like I tried my damnedest to get everything to be like as comparable as possible, but there's so many things going on that make it like almost impossible to really compare.
Yeah, exactly. And like all of those calibration prints and stuff are doing their best to try and isolate specific factors in specific areas and so on. But there's a ton of stuff happening, and it's almost impossible to actually isolate variables.
Okay, yeah. Girl Painting says, no, it looks like the support pulled some of the resin down, and I got a waxy warping. I'm not sure exactly. I don't think I'm qualified to answer that question, but maybe people in chat can help you out. I would hate to be like, yeah, it's exposure, and then you overexpose and lose detail, you know what I mean? Looks like Rufus Kid has some ideas. I'd take resin printing problems over filament printing problems any day. I would love to learn the ins and outs of filament 3D printing, but man, there's not enough time in the day to have to go through that whole process again and figure out all the ins and outs. At least resin can't burn your house down. That's true. Well, I mean, maybe it can. I have no idea. That's a much bigger hobby. For example, I printed some bases and I had many supports on it, but the warping still occurred. Interesting. Let's think about this. What could it be? Maybe it's a build plate alignment issue. If it's printing on a very slight angle, one side of the supports are going to be compressed and one side are going to be stretched, and so you might get some kind of like weird bending thing. Maybe that's a problem. Angle issue, says Nargi. My solution so far has been getting a friend of mine to print for me and treat him to something to eat afterwards. There you go.
I mean, that's the other aspect of this too, which is there are lots of pretty good 3D printing services. Not just my buddy has a 3D printer and I'll buy him lunch, but you know, like there are websites. Damn, that almost hit me. God. There are lots of websites that you can just, you know, submit a file to and say, send me this. I've done it, and I've got quite a few minis printed that way, and they come out pretty good.
Maybe I should do that.
And you know what? It's a lot cheaper than buying GW minis. Last time I did it was probably about $3 a mini.
You can buy me lunch. I didn't know that was an option. All right. Elf Penguarin in chat wants to print your models for lunch. And what are the names of those sites? What do you got? What do you got, Evan? Any examples?
I mean, Shapeways is the classic one. They offer all sorts of types of printing, including like getting centered metal prints and things like that. Honestly, if you just Google print on demand service miniature, you'll find a lot of options.
I know there's one that My Mini Factory uses. It's called Only Minis. Is that it?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that's one. If you want to go with a bigger one. My main issue with resin minis is fragility. After every game session, I have to glue swords, spears, etc. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I got to do the same goddamn thing for plastic models.
Yeah, plastic is more robust, but not by a lot, truthfully.
Yeah, I wonder.
Anything tumbling off a table is very likely to break. Although I did get really lucky the other day. I dropped one of my Stormcast, like, whatever their creatures are called. Not the dragons, but the weird, like, monster things.
Drake?
One of the riders.
Something Drake?
Nothing broke.
Nice.
He spun when he hit the floor like a million RPM. Like something hit at just the right angle, and he just like revved up like Sonic the Hedgehog or something.
Oh gosh.
It just like bounced around, and I was like, oh my god, I spent so much time assembling that guy. Completely fine. But more a matter of luck than the material, I think. Like it probably landed on the tail at just such an angle that it basically acted as a spring.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, I got lucky. Yeah, UV Tools is a pretty neat program that also is a lot more technical than I think most people need.
I've like heard of it in passing, but I don't really know what it is. What is UV Tools?
UV Tools is like a much better specific utility for doing things like finding islands and other problems with printable files.
Oh, okay.
It's not a slicer, but it like does that aspect of it, and professionals routinely use it to repair and support and stuff like that models. Okay. Brigandage says, every time I hear about this resin 3D printer stuff, I think the apt comparison is beer. You can brew your own, and it is theoretically cheaper, but it's probably worth your time to just buy something from a big brewery. I don't think that that's quite correct, but it's close enough to being correct that I kind of agree.
Sure, yeah. Beer is significantly cheaper than models. So it's kind of like, is it more worth your time to, like, try to figure out 3D printing? Whereas beer is like, it's pretty inexpensive, unless you're like a super big beer aficionado. But like the average person who's into beer compared to the average person who's into miniature painting, I think the average mini painter is probably gonna be spending more money than the average beer person. Obviously, there are edge cases to everything, but I think in average, probably not.
Yeah, I do generally think that brewing your own beer is actually not that much cheaper than just buying beer. The prices are very, very comparable.
My buddy keeps sending me models of bubbles in the base. I can usually paint around them. Does anyone know what's causing the issue? Bubbles in the base. Lord Ariacon 1234. Thanks for the sub. Bubbles. I would assume that had something to do with there are bubbles in the resin. Often when you pour resin into the vat the first time after shaking it up or something like that, you have bubbles in the resin. And then those bubbles can often telegraph to the actual 3D print. Flipping off the man price list. Nice.
Damn right.
Monkey. That's awesome. All right. Now I'm going to add some tufts to the base just to get a little more beach vibes, but also to hide any sins that I might have committed. Nice. More beach vibes. Oh. Can't wait to see this unit all together. No. I'm just gonna stick a tuft on either side of his foot like he's almost stepping on a bush. Can I get the paint camera up, Evan?
You're not painting though.
Okay. Okay, guy. Nice. Now he's like stepping on a bush. Just to kind of like hide a little bit of that gap in there that I got accidentally.
How much pain will it cause you the first time you put those on the table at the source? When someone looks at them and goes, wow, these are really good, but why is there this gap under his foot, though?
You know, it ain't going to happen, so I'm okay with it. Unless you do it.
It has less impact coming from me, I think.
Right. Why is that, Evan?
Because I already know it would annoy you.
Okay. There's that, and I also just know you're a troll, so.
That too. 100%.
No, because we have a different Spotify account for the streaming.
We should.
People in this community trolling? Coming from Azathoth? Never. No. I will put 3 toughs on this one. Why not?
3?
Unreal.
Wild. Anyway, that song "Death to the Sprue" comes from Once in a Six Side's most recent video, where he, the goth rocker that they made for Christmas at GW, he was like, "Man, the Squig amp is really cool. I'm going to make a real one of those."
Oh, I think I saw.
I linked that video in the Discord, I think.
I think I saw it in my recommendations.
It's real good. It's also pretty sweet.
That's cool.
Who doesn't want a Squig guitar amp?
I certainly do.
You got a guitar?
Not anymore. I sold them. I think Curtis actually bought my guitar.
Huh.
An ESP LTD MH400. And then
Yeah, that seems pretty on brand.
And then I had, of course, absolutely.
I mean, I got a Flying V, so.
Okay, nice. Hear me out. Tiny beach balls and sunglasses made of green stuff. All right, Mike Genie. When you make that for me, I'll put it on my bass.
It's a Greyjoy beach party.
Little beach ball. Now we need some more super glue. Look at Mr. Moneybags here with all the tufts. 3 per base. Must be nice.
Living large.
I know. It feels good, honestly. It feels good to live so luxuriously. All right, who has some fantastic Valentine's Day plans? Let me know. Let me know what they are. You guys are curious what tufts I'm using? These are micro tufts from Gamer's Grass, or I think it's just Gamer Grass. Oh, come on. There we go. I missed my Flying V. I bought mine in '84 for $400 and sold it for about $2K and regret it almost every day. Dang. I'm drinking White Russians and watching you brush up the bases. There it is. How is recovery from the resin catastrophe? We're actually going to do a little bit of recovery today from the resin catastrophe later on in the stream.
So he claims.
So I claim. It's not great, you know. I think there are some where I can very easily replace like the head or like just the maybe like the head, neck, top of the shoulder area and just repaint that and keep like the rest of the model. And that'd be like better than just ditching the whole thing and repainting the model. But there are some that are just like they're gone. Like Baylor Black Tide he's rip. People drink more than one White Russian in a row. I mean, I probably couldn't manage that without like dying, but I'm assuming there are others that are more prolific when it comes to alcohol consumption.
How many White Russians do you think Khan John would have?
At least 3. That guy's a son of a bitch.
What can I say? Khan John knows how to party.
Oh, absolutely he does. Oops, sorry, camera.
Did you teach it a lesson?
I did. Give it a little bashing.
Oops.
Surprising amount of mini painters play guitar. I trained guitar teacher. Actually gave someone guitar lessons in exchange for his out-of-print High Elf minis. That's cool.
That is pretty cool.
I took guitar lessons for at least 4 years of my life through some of grade school and some of high school. And there was this thing in high school called solo and ensemble, and you would like go and compete. And so I did a little bit of classical guitar at solo and ensemble in high school. But of course, I wanted to play guitar so I could play like Metallica and shit like that, not classical guitar. What a treat. Called in sick. Good to see Scott. What up, Twisted 7-Re? Twisted Tree, probably. Time for another drunk mini painting with White Russians, maybe? Can White Russians have Fireball in them?
I'm not sure how awful that sounds, but it sounds pretty awful.
Yeah. I think you could do anything you want, I suppose.
This is America?
Exactly. Someone called Donald Glover. All right, 2 more bases. 2 more bases, and then we get to do the thing that every mini painter loves to do, I assume, when you finish painting up a unit. You get to play Toy Soldier with your newly finished stuff.
The downside to fantasy miniatures is they don't have guns, so you can't go pew 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 pew.
That's true. I had to settle for beach party sounds.
Where's my royalty-free beach party music?
Yeah, I don't even know what that would be.
Like really bad Beach Boys ripoff.
Okay. Yes. I think I'll bring a little Bluetooth speaker with me to the next Song of Ice and Fire tournament and just play Beach Boys.
Just get the store to play it.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, instead of playing the normal like 80s soft rock pop hits, can you put on like 50s party music?
Okay. I need a movement tray. Stat. Okay, I see some.
I need a movement tray. Gaston Corgi subscribed with Prime.
Gaston?
Gaston. The guy eats a lot of eggs, you know.
All right.
God damn, it's dark over here.
Kind of like you did Space Marine for views, I had to learn Van Halen and Iron Maiden solos to reach more customers, LMAO. Yeah, for sure. I started taking lessons in 1984 and just wanted to learn Metallica and Judas Priest songs, but my teacher forced me to learn how to read and learn classical music, and I hated every minute of it. Now I appreciate it, but then not so much. Yeah, definitely. I can't move without a movement tray. All right. Whenever I put a song unit together, I try to not have like the same dude like nearby another dude who is the same. Like,
I just do it in diagonals. That seems to work out the best.
Right, yeah. Like orthogonally, I don't want any of the same dude to touch. Like this would be illegal. Okay, I gotta put it.
Illegal. Das ist verboten.
Gotta do this.
Nein, you cannot place them together.
Am I managing? Are we? That's better. That's better. Oh no, fuck. Okay, that's good. Oh no, fuck. God damn it.
My presumption is that there's a lot more songs about fire than there are about ice.
Team, I did it. This is my first ever completed A Song of Ice and Fire unit. We have now doubled the number of song minis I have painted, even with the resin catastrophe reducing that amount by like close to half.
It is pretty impressive, but I also think you're kind of late to the party on this one.
Wait, late to what party?
You started playing a song like a year and a half before I did.
Oh, what are you saying right now?
I finished my painted army in like 3 months.
Oh, okay.
I'm here to be the screen door on the submarine. That's my job.
The screen door on the submarine. Nice. Never heard that.
Useless, annoying, bringing you down.
I've never heard that term before, but I love it. I just caught a little bit of that white resin base that, let me see if I can cover it up. Cool.
Also, why is that guy's foot lifting up?
Because he can levitate.
Sweet.
This guy is looking a little like he's on an angle. But otherwise, fuck
Rufus,
yeah.
you didn't see my post in the Discord? Wait, yeah, you did.
I bought a starter set, painted it, and sold it before Scott painted his army. Congratulations.
Damn.
I'm happy for you. All right. Let's do a little mail time.
Mail time!
And then we'll do a little bit of a very, very basic lesson.
Scott's going to teach you a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
I need a desk lamp.
Do you want one?
I mean, kind of.
Okay, so Scale 75 sent me some stuff. And today we're going to look at some stuff that they didn't necessarily think that I was going to look at. They thought I was going to look at something else, but we'll do that a little bit later on a different stream. So they sent me...
That's cryptic.
I know, it is. We're going to look at this today. Scale Color Artist Paint. This is their tube paint series. There was actually a viewer who was asking about this set, and I couldn't really speak to it at all because I had no experience. But now I'll have a little bit of experience. This is the skin tone set. So later in the stream, we're going to repaint one of the faces of the Greyjoy characters that I murked with resin using this set. And so we got some standard skin tone colors. Looks like largely Caucasian. We have one brown in here, but maybe a couple other ethnicities as well. But yeah, green, interesting. I always appreciate Scale 75 because they always give you a little bit of a guide, kind of explaining, how some of these colors might be used. Like green is an interesting color for skin. I've seen people use it before in skin, but I wouldn't know how to employ it without it being sickly and disgusting. And so on one of these steps, it has the green paint in use. That's always kind of helpful to kind of just get a frame of reference for like when a more off-the-wall color is used. What up, Doric Wastakin? No, Doric was taken.
I like the first idea.
Wastakin. Why do you buy such expensive water? I don't. This is the first time I've ever drank Liquid Death. My wife just bought it for me because I think she bought something from like a coffee shop and wanted to get me something. Liked it better as well. Excellent. Pretty affordable tube paint. Interested to see how they're used. Wow, I sure wish I would have gotten those when I ordered the full range. Why wouldn't you have gotten that when you ordered the full range? All right, anyways, other things they sent me. I got some more artist grade acrylic paints. I thought this was something else. It's not. It's a white, a black, a blue, a yellow, a red, and a brown. Basically like your primary tones for an artist color wheel. They also sent along some acrylic thinner for the airbrush, and this is relevant based on what they sent me. That is probably the most interesting thing. This ambiguous white box.
Ooh. Mystery box.
Had to order them in individual tubes to avoid overlaps. That is really annoying. Okay, so I got some paint here that I think they probably have teased on their social media, but I'm not sure if we've actually seen out in the open. This is called drop paint. Drop paint is Scale 75's airbrush paint. And I don't know if you guys know this, but they have a new art director that's kind of like leading their product design. And his name is Alfonso Heraldez, or Banshee is his name on the internet. A very prolific and big character in the miniature painting scene. And he is doing that job as a part-time job right now, being their art director. But he reached out to me and was like, this is the most amazing airbrush paint I have ever used. And like he said, he just lauded it endlessly, saying like you can do anything with it. Basically saying like, it's very easy to use. It's not gonna clog your airbrush. It's not gonna like, fuck with you. It's not gonna fight you. It's just gonna work.
And of course, Scott's response was, okay, send me some if it's so great.
Absolutely.
Prove it.
And so I said, I'm not gonna do a sponsorship for Paint Range ever without having used it first. And that's kind of like what he was talking about. He wanted to, he's like, I don't know what your process is, but I want you to, get the word out about these paints. And so I said, I will put them through the arena of a live stream.
The arena!
We've seen products fail miserably in live stream sometimes, so we'll see how these work, but not today, a little bit later. I don't have a good thing to paint with these yet. So I got a couple paints of drop paint. I don't know how many I got here, but they're test paints. I can clearly see that there are notes written on them. There's paint on some of the labels because they've been used before. So this is pretty cool to be kind of getting in on the ground running with this stuff to try it out. So yeah, in a future stream, probably just next stream, next Tuesday, a week from now, we'll try out some of the Scale 75's new drop paint to see what's what. Is he going to make them fix their instant paints? I don't really know what I would have them fix, other than they're just kind of like not very good.
By the way, we're giving away some instant paints.
Yeah, of my transparent wash on and color a model ranges, speed paint, contrast paint, I definitely like speed paint or instant paint the least. How do you all feel about scale, armor, and aircraft? I don't know much about it. I'm not a big historical person. But anyways, popping back.
I have a 1/35th scale that I need to build.
Oh yeah? An airplane?
Tank. I have a Merkava. It's the Israeli tank.
I used the thinner in my airbrush and it reactivated my primer on the Mini. I ran into the same issue when using Flow Improver. The primer was Monument Mini's medium gray. Just a warning for Oaks. Okay, interesting. All right, back to artist grade acrylic paint. We're gonna pop over to the chalkboard. So, the difference between tube paint, which is called heavy body paint, and soft body paint is the kind of medium that's used. So here I have like just 2 meters, and we'll call this, I know it says soft versus hard, but it's soft versus heavy. So if this is heavy and this is soft, you have actually an equal mixture of pigment and medium. I don't know if it's half and half, but what I'm trying to illustrate is that in both situations, you likely have a similar ratio of pigment to medium. But in one of them, the heavy body one, the medium is a different kind of medium. It's a thicker, heavier medium and designed to give you more of a creamy effect with the painting. Thicker, more texture on canvas. It's really helpful because canvas is 2D, and to get some kind of texture in there, like with a palette knife, is very useful. It's a feature that's very useful to artists in that genre. Now, the only problem with heavy body paints, and why I've kind of always puzzled about why people like to use them, is in order to get to a consistency that is usable for painting 32 millimeter models, you need to use more water, more thinner of some kind. So whereas maybe that amount of water is useful or gets you to the spot where you want to be with soft body, you might need to use like twice as much with hard body. And the problem with that is that now I have a paint, say these are both green paints. I have a paint that has a higher ratio of water to pigment than over here to get to the workable consistency that I like when painting miniatures. And that means that it's more translucent. My preference would be that it was more opaque. So that is a theoretical problem with heavy body paints. Now I'm messed up myself. But is that actually going to do anything in real life? You know, a long time ago, I kind of figured out that, I think it was when I was talking about 3D printing, there are a lot of theoretical issues when talking about 3D printing, but do they actually do anything? Do they actually surface in real life? So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna paint with some tube paint. I'm gonna paint a face on a 32 mil model, and we're gonna see if the experience is really that much different than with soft body. My assumption is it's not gonna be much different, but we'll find out. And also maybe we'll find out, maybe you might find out more of a difference painting more of a model. You know, if I paint just the head of a Mini, you know, maybe that's not enough of a model to paint to really draw a conclusion. So all things to consider when trying to do some kind of, you know, scientific comparison. I'm gonna do some new paper here.
Not to mention the fact that different brands have different pigment versus medium and all that kind of stuff, even in the same sorts of containers.
Yeah. Stoneless B, thanks for the sub. If you guys don't know, we're doing a giveaway right now for some Scale 75 instant paints. Once we hit 50 subs, we'll do a giveaway for all the viewers in chat. All you gotta do is be a follower. And a great way to do that is with Prime subs. If you have Amazon Prime, you can hook it up to your Twitch account to sub to one free channel a month. And we appreciate that Prime sub, if you got it. Softy hard, winky face. All right,
I
go
got
painting.
a poll going.
What was that?
There was a poll.
Oh, a poll. Okay, for body preferences. Okay. Tefis, thanks for the Prime sub. I have never played War Machine, although I'm interested. What is in your opinion the most influential and/or impactful painting technique introduced to mini painting from the early '90s to now? Oh boy.
That's a deep question.
The most impactful. It's not a technique, but can I say the usage of wet palettes? I feel like that was such a game changer for so many people. It's such an amazing hack for our hobby very specifically. It's still useful for 2D artists, but for mini painting specifically, it is so fucking useful.
Vincey B says void blending is the most prolific technique.
Void blending. Airbrushing is another thing that I would say is very close to wet palettes. Washing is another great thing. Washing, airbrushing, wet palettes, huge metric shifts in our hobby. Those are all great answers.
Interestingly, none of those are really techniques, but applications of just technology.
Yeah.
Alien technology.
All right, I need some paper. I think I'm just.
Oh yeah, I should have put warm bodies and washed bodies on the preferences thing.
There's no dead body option. Airbrush is so good.
Damn.
Yes, the airbrush is a huge tool.
I don't know. I think the airbrush is all right.
Yeah.
He can be kind of standoffish, but once you get to know him, it's not that bad.
Nice. Okay, yeah, I called it a tool. Okay, I get it.
He said he's a huge tool.
You are again correct.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Yoshi's painting is got it. Airbrushing has definitely been around for longer, but it didn't really make its way to mini painting until a little bit later. I don't actually know really when. It's hard to know who was the first person to use an airbrush on a miniature, but like really when did it start to really like take hold and interest people?
That is a good question.
The history of airbrushing.
History of airbrushing miniatures. This guy is so cool, even though he's apparently terrible. I had to buy him.
What guy?
This hero that I'm building over here.
What? Which one is it?
It is the Lord Exorcist.
Oh, okay.
He's got the Soulbot VAC 9000 on a stick.
He's auditioning for Ghostbusters.
Pretty much.
Okay, so the person that we are going to repaint is Wendigod. Wendigod is an NCU for the Greyjoy faction who is phenomenal, and he is an auto include for most armies. Not as godlike as Roderick, but I don't have Roderick's model handy to repaint.
I'm in the opposite camp. Roderick is great, but I can't live without Windermere. He's like my soulmate.
If you run a 2 NCU list, you can live without Windermere.
If you run a 2 NCU list, you're probably asking to lose.
Yeah, not false. Become our long-form mini painting journalist. Research the origins of these tools and techniques with the hobby and the hobby itself, and make the video for us. I would love to do that. I'd love to get to a point where I could have multiple people making videos on my channel and writers and stuff, and they could do the research and write it, and then someone could host the video, whether it's me or someone else. I would love to get to that point. That'd be very cool. I hate decals. Fair.
Azathoth would like to know, are you purely going to use scale 75 heavy bodies, or are you also going to use art brand ones like Golden and Liquitex?
In this example, I will just use scale 75 paints. Although I do have some Liquitex and I do have some Yosonia.
Surly Sigh, subscribing with Prime. Cool, whatever I did fixed the counter, so it's working automatically.
Nice.
Makes me happy. 'Cause
Okay.
it saves me work.
So, stream, here is the unpainted one. And what did I do with the destroyed one? Or not destroyed, but kind of messed up one.
Ruined?
It kind of seems like really the problem only exists on the head. But everywhere else, there's some bullshit that's going on down here. I don't know what happened with the metallic paint, but it seems like it maybe got a little separated. And maybe the resin reactivated the paint and then dragged some of the pigment down out of his shoulders. But that's an easy fix with paint. I don't need to repaint that part. It seems to be just the head that I need. Cool. So I'll paint the head. I don't know how to say that word. K series. Penguin, thanks for the Prime sub. Can you do an experiment for us to see how heavy body paints fare overnight on a wet palette compared to miniature paints? For sure, absolutely.
Scott leaves his paint on his palette longer than anyone I know already.
But I don't really use it.
Still something.
Okay. Basically, what a wet palette needs to do for me is it needs to be wet. It needs to keep the paint hydrated for my painting session. If it can do that, then it does a good job. I don't need to it's too much of a finicky hassle to try to put a lid on it and have the right amount of evaporation to hydration such that when you take the lid off in the morning, you have usable paint. Very often it's just over thinned and useless. Or the paint reacts terribly to the palette overnight and isn't useful. So yeah, it's hard to say. Is there a specific product you'd suggest to start with for getting into a Song of Ice and Fire? I would say yes.
Stop there. You just yes, there it is.
The getting started starter sets for armies obviously would be a good answer.
The starter sets are great. If you have specific playstyles in mind, there are guides out there. We can walk you through it. Or if you jump on the Song of Ice and Fire subreddit, there's a link to the gigantic international Discord, and there are people who are terminally online on that Discord server that happily will help you.
Terminally online.
Yeah, I'm talking about me, but also other people.
You, Dwan Ring.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious if the heavy bodies will hold together better on the palette overnight. I bet they would. What about a tutorial on mixing those primary colors to create flesh tones, a spectrum of colors? I could try to do that, but I don't know if I'm the best person for that. Lumix Beast, thanks for the Prime sub.
Nice.
I'm just gonna prime it white. I don't need to zenithly prime his head. I'm gonna put an apron on. Just because my wife is here right now, and if she sees me get paint on my pants without even trying, I'm a dead man.
That would ruin Valentine's Day. You guys still have short shorts in stock?
They're not really short shorts, though.
Short side athletics shorts. Get sexy shorts for someone special in your life on this Valentine's Day.
You looked like you needed the Bozo's bucks. Hey, man, I'll take whatever reason you want to have for giving me your money.
Yeah, I'm a cheap date.
They are if you order them 2 sizes too small. Hell yeah, Mike Genie. Cool. All right, so we'll just do a quick little prime of his face, and then get to painting. Bro is just raw dogging that airbrush. What do you mean, like no thinner? Amber says no mask. Oh yeah, no protection. If you could show a drop of scale 75 next to a drop of Liquitex on the wet palette so we can compare how well the peaks of the top hold up, give us a clue about how much more scale 75's self-level. I'd be very happy to do that. Cool. Let's just do some cleaning real quick. So I'm going to use secret weapon paint. What are your feelings? Easy to work with? I don't have any secret weapon paint, but I'm definitely aware of them. Although I don't think you can get them anymore, right?
Yeah, I think Secret Weapon went out of business.
What up, Miox? Thanks for the kind words.
Hey, thanks, Mink Blub.
V-Day is the day for no protection. Nice. What do you think about that, Amber? You want any kids? Did you say yes? Oh, okay. Amber hates children.
Who doesn't hate children? Yeah, well, that's the secret. Everyone hates everyone else's kids. And then you have your own, and they're like, these are great. It's like the same thing with dogs. Other people's I like other people's dogs until they start barking and being annoying, and then I'm like, man, my dog is way better than this.
Well, your dog's always the best, but I
Right.
love it.
They restarted, Dwarving says. Okay.
Really? They had my favorite, pre-made bases. I've never tried any of their paints, but I bought, some of their skull bases, and they were my favorite skull bases.
Cool.
So I'm glad to hear it. I was kind of shocked that they went under, but
There was a problem with, they ran a Kickstarter and another company, I can't remember if this is exactly correct, so don't quote me on this, but another company, I believe, thought that they owned the rights to the product that Secret Weapon was like selling on a crowdfunding campaign. And so I think they weren't able to recover from not being able to run that campaign or whatever it was.
well, that sounds like a tremendous pain in the ass.
I can't remember what it is. All right. So we'll put a couple of wet palette paints, sorry, a couple of heavy body paints on the wet palette, just to kind of see how different brands react compared to the one we're testing today. Can you mute me for a second, Evan?
You're muted.
I bet Miniac let out a massive fart right there. Definitely.
Pretty close.
Definitely.
Pretty close. It was like, and it fucking reeks in here now.
Secret Weapon is highly litigious. Does that mean that they come after people in a legal sense? Is that what that word means?
Yes, that's what that word means. We're gonna get sued for mentioning them.
Oh God.
So the first radio station I worked at, the station manager was so afraid of getting sued by the NFL, he disallowed us to ever say the word Super Bowl. Because, like, notoriously the NFL will sue you for not getting licensing rights to like hold a Super Bowl party as a business. You have to like pay the NFL to show it, that thing. Yes, big game, other things like that. The thing is, you can absolutely say Super Bowl in news coverage. That was never an issue. But he was so afraid that he was like, you cannot say Super Bowl. It was like banned words around the station because he didn't want it inadvertently said on air in conversation. Guy was kind of a weenie, but whatever.
Weenie.
Yeah. Big Green Bay fan.
All right.
I'm sure that had nothing to do with it.
Superb owl. Scott doesn't strike me as a big fart kind of guy. You know, I've been known. Okay. What I'm able to find right now is some Yosonia and some Liquitex tube paint, and so we'll try that out.
Scott really seems to like the Yosonia. That comes out pretty often.
Yes. I need to make sure I put the same amount of paint, or relatively same amount of paint, on the palette. One thing that I do appreciate about heavy body paints is you don't ever gotta shake them. They don't split, ever.
That's a good point. Although, not entirely true.
Is that not true?
I have had... They don't split in the tube itself, but they split in the cap. This
In the
happens
cap.
with oil paints a little bit, too.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, the paint inside the tube itself is fine. But in the cap, a little bit of the medium oil and so on will separate. I've seen the same thing happen with hard body acrylics.
Okay. I'm mostly saying that about Secret Weapon being litigious because Scott was saying something about Secret Weapon, which is disputed by others. Right, yeah. I guess it's important to say that I don't know what the truth is, and I'm just conveying what I have heard on the internet about that situation with Secret Weapon. All right, we got 2 yellow paints. I'm not sure if the pigment matters, but if we can, you know, get closer to a more consistent result, why not? And so the first one here in the front is our Scale Color Artist paint. this second one right here is Liquitex, and this one right here is Yosonya. So we'll let that sit there and just kind of see what happens with self-leveling. If one reacts more to the wet palette than the other, we'll see what happens over the course of maybe 24 hours. All right, so with the skin tones set here, looks like we got a nice darker flesh tone. We have a red, and then we have maybe more of like a highlight color. And then we have no white and no black, but I do have that over here in the other set, and so I will bust that out.
Busted.
They split when you thin them too much. True. I meant in the container.
Yeah, you don't need no vortex mixer for these.
That is true.
When did they start publishing White Dwarf?
A long time ago. I have some pretty ancient white dwarfs over there in the bookcase area.
I don't know if you know this, Dan's got them at the source, but Jim brought in like 2 giant boxes of White Dwarfs going back to like the mid 90s, I think.
Nice.
It's
Mid
pretty
90s.
sweet.
Good movie if you haven't seen mid 90s. Are heavy and hard interchangeable terms?
No, we just
they're not.
like hard bodies.
Yeah. We just want to be gross boys.
How to paint Eldar faces with a brush.
Preferably.
I mean, if you use your fingers, people are not going to compliment you on your paint job.
What about an Eldar face do you think is different than a normal face? Is it a helmeted head, or is it the skin tone heads, or which ones are you talking about specifically? You mentioned the Corsairs, but is it the flesh ones, or is it something else? Okay, I'm looking at these paints in my palette, and you're not gonna be able to see this kind of nuance just because red is a hard color to translate through camera. But this color right here is very pinky. It's missing some orange. Actually, so considering that, there is a tube paint called Golden Flesh, and I'm actually gonna bust that out. And I'm probably gonna mix a little bit of that in there because it just looks a little too pink and not, there's not enough orange in the skin tone. So
And that pink looks like slapped skin.
Damn, look at this. Okay, this is a problem, I think. So it's even more aggressive on the camera than it is in real life just because of maybe it's a bit overexposed. But look at the label compared to the actual paint. It is several levels of value brighter the actual paint is compared to the label. And honestly, I'd prefer this color, the actual label color, to whatever this peachy salmony thing is.
You know, there's this other thing I noticed too, and it's not necessarily unique to this, but like I just picked up the signature Pro Acryl paints, for instance, and I believe it's one of John's colors is the bright ivory, and coming out of the bottle, it looks like it's almost like a green brown, like it is dark, and I was like, this doesn't look like an ivory color. This doesn't match up with the other ones, but it dries like 10 shades brighter than it appears coming out of the bottle. And then the question is, do I trust the color of the paint on my palette, or do I trust the color on the label? And in that case, you have to trust the label because it dries so much brighter than the actual paint.
Yeah. Rufus Kit makes a good point. He says paint some on the label to see how it dries.
Yeah.
And so we'll do that and see what that looks like after it's dried. I need to get a nice thick layer on there because I don't want any of the labels showing through. Okay.
Obviously, the best standard is the paint over the like stripes or some other pattern that a lot of artist paints do, where they actually demonstrate the color right on the bottle.
Yeah.
Love if mini paints did that. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. So I mixed up some skin tone, this darker flesh tone called Pink Flesh. And I put what I thought was a little bit of black in it, and it just murdered the color immediately. And so some black paints just really overtake more than others. And so that black paint is kind of one of those paints. I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow from the scale color range.
Swing that thing has subscribed.
Swing that thing. What up? Love that name. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow to the skin tone just to make it a little bit more orangey. Because the orange skin tone color that I have is just like, I don't know, it's not what I'm looking for. Maybe a skosh more red. And then of course we have to add the aforementioned water to get it to a place that's more usable. And we're gonna start with a base coat. Just a simple base coat on his face. It's important to note that we are painting on a white undercoat, and so we're not going to get the greatest idea of opacity from the paint, just because typically when I paint miniatures, I'm doing it on a darker undercoat, and so the opacity isn't as good.
All right, so I have a question for you, Scott.
Okay. Oh, this is way overexposed. What the fuck, dude?
Why are you painting before cutting that off?
Just because I'm gonna cut it off like really proud.
I just would worry about like chipping the paint and stuff as you work it down to the right spot.
Sure, yeah, that's definitely a legit concern. I think I want to kind of get to it.
Fair enough. It was
done
a genuine question, not a
yeah.
You're doing this wrong.
No, I think that's probably the preferable method. But I didn't do it before I streamed. I don't want to waste people's time. Hey, there's my paint mixing cut. Oh yeah, we did talk about that. We had like a little paint mixing demonstration in a previous stream as well. All right. Okay, so whatever, shitty base coat. It's a nicer hue though for a darker shadow color to start from. You might ask why bother with priming it white if you're gonna paint it the shadow color and build up from there? Why not start at the highlight and work down? And the simple answer is I don't know how to do that. It sounds counterintuitive to me to start at a highlight and work down. I have much more control when I go from a shadow and go up. So yeah, that's why. One thing I'm noticing is that with heavy body paints, I am much more reserved about how much paint I mix. And so I have a very tiny little puddle of paint right there that isn't very useful to me. And so I'm gonna get a synthetic brush, which I care less about. And I'm going to mix a larger quantity of paint so that it lasts a little bit longer.
He's doing it. He's mixing them.
I am. I just want some more. I want some more paint.
More paint.
Knox Geek, 21 months of subbing. Thank you for
That's
the
pretty
sub.
good.
That is pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good. If you own a dog, you frequently are grabbing hot, warm crap, literally in your hand, with only a layer of thin plastic. A cat, you don't do that. Sure, that is true. Are we comparing dogs and cats right now?
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing that thing. All right. I mean, Evan's cat literally bit his hand and got so infected to the point where amputation was a possible fear. So, I mean...
If my dog had bit me, my thumb would have just been amputated.
But he didn't.
Not that time. My dog bit me when I first got him because I sneezed. Aries used to be a very, very, very timid dog and had a lot of rules. Still has quite a few, but we've worked past quite a few of them. Rescue dogs are really fun.
Yeah, all my dogs been rescues.
Why did my dog have full-blown PTSD about sneezing? I have no idea.
There's a possibility to have a small amount of primer texture on the model, because priming with white sometimes is a little bit problematic. If the particles dry before they hit the model, they'll create a spotty, or not spotty, but a little bubbly texture. But I'll just paint over it. We'll be fine. Okay, I am beginning to get a base coat that is more reasonable. So now I'll start to build up some highlights, and I'll take that same mixture of paint I have over here, kind of a little bit more of an orangey paint, and I will mix this paint into it, Golden Flesh, because it's kind of like a highlight color, honestly. It's bright enough to be one. I'll take my cat pooping in the house over taking my dog out 3 times a day when it's -5 outside for a week straight. That's why you get a fenced-in backyard.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I need to get a new fence this summer, and it's going to be a big expenditure.
Yeah, they're expensive.
It's making me big sad.
But yeah, you know, cats and dogs, they have their pros and cons. I like both. I don't consider myself a dog person or a cat person.
Same.
All right. Because we're painting a male face, I am less concerned about leaving behind dark shadows in like the eye socket and stuff like that, and also the smile lines, which I can't remember the muscle term for. It's like orbicularis oris or something like that.
Don't hurt your brain there, buddy.
I know, we got close. Just because dark shadows on a male face is something that's much more believable for your people observing your paint jobs than it is on a female face. So I will leave some darker shadows behind in his face.
Damn, we've been live for almost 2 hours already.
Why is that a damn?
It just doesn't feel like it's been 2 hours.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Sound off in chat if it feels like it's been 2 hours to you.
We're like 5 minutes.
See?
Just because I've been here for 5 minutes. I feel like I've been talking a lot. What I'm gonna do for the next like 10 minutes is just continually and slowly add more and more of this this golden skin tone paint until I'm using basically that purely, and then I'll start to add in some white paint as well to get a brighter highlight. I will undoubtedly go too far with the highlights and then need to kind of pare it back a bit. But now that that's been explained, we can talk about other things. Me and my editor friend Alex recently discovered even more 80s fantasy movies that I have not seen. I thought that I was getting close to having seen them all. Like, I didn't think there were that many. There are so many.
There are so many.
And they're so bad, but I'm so excited to watch them. Some are like, the thing was when you watch a shitty movie, or a shitty movie, air quotes, you find other things about the movie to enjoy. So a lot of these old fantasy movies, while the dialogue might not be fantastic, or like the characters or like the plot, they have incredible practical effects, incredible prop design, incredible visuals. So it's like there are other things to legitimately enjoy about them. Kroll is actually good. Fight me. I mean, it's good. It's good for some things. I have seen Kroll. Yeah, that was one of the first ones that I saw. It's fantastic.
I didn't watch any movies over the weekend, but I did spend a big chunk of the weekend assembling model and finally getting around to watching The Orville.
Well, I don't even know what that is. What is that?
It's totally not Star Trek show made by Seth MacFarlane and a bunch of other people.
Okay.
It's shockingly good. Who would have thought that Seth MacFarlane could actually make a good show?
See ya.
Bye. Also, congrats to Travis on our Discord. Finally getting a big post on our mini painting.
Yeah, 1,000 upvotes.
More now.
Nothing to scoff at.
Well, that mini is nothing to scoff at either.
All right. I'm struggling. I'm mixing more of this paint into my midtone, or my shadow, I should say. But I'm not like seeing much of it show up. And I'm wondering if that's because it is thinned with so much water that the translucency is super low. We'll see. We'll see. It looks like it's brightening up on the palette, so I think it should be fine. There's also some people that might say that this heavy body paint is more suited to a larger canvas, like it would be on a literal canvas that's like, you know, several feet in width and height. And maybe that is true. Maybe like a bust would be a better subject for this kind of paint. So it's worth mentioning. Speaking on the subject of shows, I started to watch, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but House of the Dragon, and I'm enjoying it so much more than I enjoyed Game of Thrones.
I really got to get around to it.
It's pretty good. I really like the dialogue. The writing is really good. It gets a little bit like Pride and Prejudice, but fantasy version at sometimes, and that was a little bit annoying, but like otherwise, I enjoy it a lot.
I mean, Pride and Prejudice is pretty good.
I don't know. I don't really like Pride and Prejudice a lot. Love how they approach serious themes like racism and addiction. Was that in House of the Dragon, or was that in the show Orville?
The Orville.
Gotcha.
The Orville does not back away from interesting and controversial topics, which is surprising for primetime network TV. And it doesn't abuse it in the way that something like a Law and Order SVU does, where Ice-T makes up a drug. Yeah, all the kids are doing it. It's called kitty litter.
Afterthought says House of the Dragon is great, but Game of Thrones is way better. I don't know, something about the first and second season of GOT just didn't really pull me in. I don't know what it was. I'd have to go back and watch the show to answer that question, and ain't no one got time for that.
I tried to do that, and I got through 2 episodes.
You don't like it much either?
I liked it a lot less the second time.
Okay.
I just kind of realized that I hate everyone in the show.
No likable characters.
Even the good characters are kind of dislikable.
You're too busy watching terrible 80s fantasy. That's true. My scale for what is good is totally out of whack at the moment.
I definitely would rather watch Conan the Barbarian.
That is a quality movie. That is such a good movie. Scott, what are your V-Day plans? Well, they already started. In the morning, I got breakfast for my wife, and I also went to the grocery store and bought her a bunch of cheaper bouquets so that we could make arrangements together. So we made 3 arrangements, and then before work, and then later on we're gonna make some fresh pasta for dinner. Those are my plans. I don't know. You kind of run out of ideas at a certain point, right? Me and Amber have been married for 10 years in January. Not January. Sorry. In July. What am I doing for chat for V-Day? This is it right now. We're streaming. That's what we're doing.
I tried to convince Scott that he needed to paint something with a lot of flesh for V-Day, but
it didn't work out.
It didn't work out. Yeah, you kit bashed a bouquet.
Essentially, yes. All right. I have some very basic shading and highlighting going on in the face so far. You probably can't even really see it at all. But what we're going to do now is we're going to paint the eyes, because I'm going to do the eyes to completion first before finishing the face. Because if I finish the face and then I do the eyes, then I mess up the skin, it's a lot harder to fix it at that point than it is right now. And so we'll do the eyes now and then finish the skin. So let's do that. Also, this brush is kind of dying on me a little bit. Is this the one that I like more? It's hard to tell. Hard to tell. Let's get some brush soap and see if we can resuscitate this for a couple more sessions. After watching Manos Hands of Fate, there are no bad movies in comparison. Oh man, did you watch Manos Hands of Fate with Riff Tracks or MST3K or without it? That's the real question. Yo, did you get nuts and not say it's nut time?
Not nuts.
Oh, it's Chippies?
Yeah.
Nice. Scott should have painted KDM stuff. There you go. There you go. Shout out to my wife for not giving a shit about Valentine's Day.
Shout out to my wife for not existing.
Yikes.
I was married once.
Yeah, that statement could have been a lot sadder, I think. Check for Steven Seagal running if you want to laugh. Is that the name of an actual movie? Steven Seagal running? I hope so.
For whatever reason, I fell into a weird recommendation hole on YouTube like a month ago where it kept linking me interviews of people telling stories about what an asshole Steven Seagal is. Like 10 in a row. And it turns out, yeah, it sounds like it's true.
So you just hate Steven Seagal now?
No, I don't hate him. It's just like, it sounds like he's an insufferable prick to work with.
Oh, okay.
What's the comedian that people were saying John looks like?
The female?
No.
I'm not being a dick. There is a female that people have likened him to before.
No, not that John. I mean John in our Escalation League John.
Tom
Segura.
Segura, that's what it is.
His podcast, Al Franken was on there and told a story about when Steven Seagal was on Saturday Night Live, and it's highly worth the watch. You know what? I can dig up this video on YouTube. It's like 10 minutes, and I'm like, oh my god.
I'm gonna mix some red and some black together to get kind of like a brownish red to paint the eyes with first. Someone asked if I clean my brush soap out, and I just kind of rinse it in water every now and then. So yes, but not for any particular reason other than I don't want to get more paint in my brush while cleaning it.
Yeah, how's that bit that you painted on the label, by the way?
How is that bit that I painted on?
You painted a little bit of paint on the label to see how it would match up.
Oh, let me check. Let me just finish this first. Okay, let's check. It might still be wet a little bit. Significantly different in my head.
It's
very
significantly different. It did get a lot closer than where it started, though.
Is that true?
I think so.
Yeah, it did darken down.
But it is still not that same orange. It's like less saturated.
Less saturated and brighter for sure.
Yeah.
I think I need some new water, man. Whenever I put my brush in my cup, my brush comes out with bits of paint in it. I don't know how some people just paint with the same water cup for like eons, but like...
Of battle?
Wait, what?
You said eons.
Oh, nice.
Of battle.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of water.
So here's a fun little story because people are talking about shitty ninja movies.
Okay.
When I was 19-ish, maybe I was still in high school, maybe I was 18, I had a fever so high that I blacked out for like a day and a half, and in my sick stupor, because apparently what I wanted to do was watch movies, I went on Amazon and I ordered 80 ninja movies.
Wow.
I cleared out my bank account buying collections of low budget shitty ninja movies. I still have some of them, but yeah, I just like mysteriously received a package addressed to me after my illness was over, like 4 days later, and it was just filled to the brim with ninja movies, and I was like, "What is this? I didn't order this." And then I went online, and it turned out I had. I spent like $150 on ninja movies.
I keep 2 water cups, and the first one I get way dirty before I change it. Nice. I think ninja movies is definitely a genre of film that I am very, not well versed in.
Well, I'll tell you what, I became a lot more well versed in them after I got 50 individual ones and a bunch of collections and stuff.
That makes sense. I can't really see where the eyes are with this model, and I know he has a bottom eyelid. And so what I'm doing is I'm intentionally painting a bigger eyeball than the sculpt has, and I will make the eye smaller with skin tone once I've established like the white of the eye. But starting out with a bigger eye is helpful because we have to paint inside these dark borders with the white of the eye. And if I start small, painting the white of the eye is just impossible. And then furthermore, painting the pupil or the iris of the eye makes it even harder. So starting out bigger makes life easier. Hashtag Team Fuck Eyes.
Yeah.
Clean water and fresh parchment paper in the wet palette are the fastest ways to clean paint jobs. True? Probably true. I'm going to mix some of this orange skin tone with a little bit of white to get my eye white color. See if focus on that isn't good. No, it's pretty good. It's fucking bird, man.
The bird is the word.
Bird is in the way.
Well, you can always just cut it off.
I suppose I can.
This is the sacrificial mini. Whatever you need to do to make this easy, Scott. Hashtag Team Fuck Birds.
Team Fuck Birds, dude. Shit. You know I painted over the eyelid with the shadow color, but like, it could just stay that way and no one would fucking know that they were eyelids. I did mess up a little bit though. I need to push more eye white into his left eye, so it's more toward like his nose, and then I kind of ran over my shadow color with the eye white on his right eye. Rip the
You should
bird.
give that bird to Dan. The bit lord.
All right, I will. It's a little hand with a bird on it. Honestly, kind of a cool bit.
It's definitely something that he'll use.
Oh yeah. And that kid's how I lost my arm.
A giant took a sprue cutter and destroyed me.
If anyone wants to see a horrible yet funny as fuck because it's so bad Bill Maher movie, go watch Cannibal Woman in the Avocado Jungle of Death. I thought that was going to go into a different direction. I thought we were going to start talking about Cannibal Holocaust. Shout out if you've seen that movie.
Yes, the Trashmen were a Minnesota-based surf rock band. Bird is the Word is a Minnesota song. The other famous one-hit wonder from Minnesota that I can think of off the top of my head is Won't You Take Me to Funky Town, was a song about leaving Minnesota because the music scene and dance scene sucks really bad here and they want to go to Chicago. That's what it is. Once You Take Me to Funky Town is literally about Minneapolis sucks, I'm going to Chicago.
Damn, dude.
Wrecked.
Someone said that Cannibal Holocaust is amazing. I don't know if it's amazing.
Amazing doesn't necessarily have a positive connotation.
Yeah.
You can be amazed at how bad something is.
Yeah. Ugh, God. There we go. Okay, that eye is now the right size. And once I put some skin tone under the eyelid, it will look right. But the other one, not so much.
I think it's because of his white hair, but right now he looks like Dr. Zaius.
Who's that?
It's the doctor from Planet of the Apes.
Oh, wow. Maybe I'm not supposed to eat this paint. It tastes like cinnamon. I don't know why.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
I don't know, but it's freaking me out. Like, it shouldn't taste good, but it tastes legit like cinnamon.
Why is it that the more poisonous the paint is, the more they put like scented agents in it that smell good?
They're trying to mask it.
When you want to put like desiccants or not desiccants,
Like
whatever.
bitterants?
Yeah, bitterants. That's it. To try and ensure people don't consume things that are toxic.
Yeah, probably. I'm just trying to get the eyes to be the right shape.
My cadmium is grape flavored.
Your what?
My cadmium is grape flavored.
I thought you said cat urine, and I was just like, what the fuck, dude? What are you feeding your cat? I was very concerned.
No.
Oh, I'm struggling, chat. This is where we just blame the paint.
New cat keeps stealing the dog's food.
Did you get that guy assembled?
Yeah.
Nice. So you're taking the approach of assembling like your entire army before painting it?
Yes.
Dude, is it his paint?
Yeah, my big
This
Valentine.
paint smells funny. Evan, come here and smell this paint right now.
All right. I'll smell your paint.
Get your head down on that palette and give it a sniff. Not that stuff, the skin tone stuff. Do you smell something kind of sweet or warm?
It
spice?
does smell like cinnamon.
Okay, what the fuck, bro?
The yellows, actually, the scale color yellow also has this weird scent to it. It's like
What
different, but
the fuck is going on?
They definitely put something in them to make them smell specific ways.
Holy cow, it smells kind of like a lotion, actually. Scott, why wasn't the question, why do you want your cat's urine? Wait, why do you know what your... Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that should have been the question. Scott is a paint sommelier, yes. A fine vintage. Eat it, do it for science. I kind of have been. What notes are you getting?
It has a strong hickory undertone.
Yes.
I can tell that this paint was aged in fine oak barrels.
I'm getting cardamom and mace. What notes are you getting? Great question. All right. Okay. Now I'm gonna, actually, you know what? I'm gonna put some pupils in first, and then I'll get back to the skin tone. All right, this is where it can all go wrong, chat.
Now it's nut time.
Nut time. Ammonia with a slight scent of malevolence. Aged in the finest aluminum tube. New channel, Baking with Miniac. I'm not much of a baker.
Hey, where's Alex? He was supposed to be here.
I don't know.
I just realized we were going to talk about things.
What-
Stuff.
What were you gonna talk about?
Secrets.
Secrets are no fun. Secrets hurt someone.
I am a sadist.
Wait, is that the one that likes to cause pain?
Yeah. masochist is hurting me more, Daddy.
Mm. This paint is dry on my palate. All right, now let's start to bring some of those eyelids back.
Amisha Strafe says, "Is this Dr. Zaius?"
Apparently it is.
Have you ever seen Planet of the Apes? The original, I mean?
Yeah. With Charlton Heston?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. A long time ago. I can't really remember much about it, but I did.
It seems like the kind of movie that your dad would like if he likes Bridge Over the River Kwai.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Same era in films.
That and also...
It is a Dr. Pepper girl painting.
Your eyes are full of hate, 41. Hate's good. Keeps man alive. Gives him strength. Fuck. Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
More Charlton Heston movies.
Ben-Hur, the greatest film ever made.
You talking about the remake?
Oh, God. There has never been a more needless or pointless remake.
I know, right?
Ben-Hur remake.
You've already reached the pinnacle of cinematography and storytelling. You don't gotta fucking remake it, guys.
You just you go back, remaster? Sure. Go back and clean up the prints and so on.
Yeah, rescan the film.
For sure. 100% on board with something like that. And people can argue endlessly about which one is the more definitive version and how it was meant to be. Blah, 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 blah. That's fine.
Yeah.
But remaking it? Oh, yeah, arguably the greatest film ever made.
Rufus Kid says, no such thing exists. Nobody ever remade Ben-Hur. They did. They tried.
Just such an exercise in folly.
Yeah. I heard the same company is also trying to remake 2001 Space Odyssey.
Sure, fuck it.
Man, the fucking cinnamon or whatever flavor, now that I have detected it, I cannot undetect it.
He has had a taste, and now he will drink deep from the well of plenty.
Imagine trying to shit the bed on purpose.
Pretty much. There's just no possible way that ends up working out. Taking a middling franchise and trying to rework it and do something new with it, fine. Doesn't normally work, but sometimes it does. It's come on, really?
Really?
What amount of hubris do you have to look at a film like that and go, I think we can do that.
I'll take a stab at it. All right, so there you go. There are some eyes. Admittedly, they're too dark. But at least they look like they are clean and in the right spot. But I will admit, they do look a little too dark. Dude, I gotta admit, I fucking love the sound of rain on that window over there.
Yeah.
It's very calming.
I do think that we should probably set up some sort of speakers in here so you can hear stream alerts and stuff. But
Oh, why? Did I miss something?
no,
Okay. Why are you saying that then? I'm confused.
because it would be cool.
Oh, okay. I'm actually struggling to get... So, when I deal with painting faces and I try to like clean up the darkness around the eyes, I really rely on a paint that's highly opaque. And this paint is not highly opaque. But what I can do is I can paint over my black line with translucent paint to kind of dull it down a little bit and not make it so dark looking. But that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to thin the line by painting with a thick paint. And I can't really do that very easily with this paint because it's just so like thick and textury. But again, I could be painting just the wrong kind of thing. Like a 32 mil model's head does not sound like the greatest subject for a heavy bodied acrylic paint.
You know, girl painting, I never even really thought about that, but you're totally right. Orcs traditionally are posed in kind of like a squatting poop position.
You mean like the miniatures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're always hunched over, but also they're always like bent down at the knees like they're taking a crap in the woods.
All right, I'm just gonna jump straight to golden skin, the color, and just start doing that highlights, doing those highlights. And I'll just sit on this color for a long time because, as everyone knows, acrylic paint has some degree of translucency to it, and so I can just use the same paint over and over and over again and develop a transition just because my paint is thinner and shows the other layers through it, through multiple layers of paint.
I have a complicated relationship with that window, Scott.
What window?
The skylight that has the sound of rain.
Why?
It also lets in just general sound from outside, like that police siren.
Can the stream actually hear that?
They could if I had it set up in such a way that it were possible.
So no?
No. But the computer hears it and has to filter it out.
Oh, okay. Sure. Right.
We've got noise gating, we've got noise suppression, we've got music. They're not going to hear no police siren unless, like, it's in the hallway.
Nope, couldn't hear it. Cool. Good. The software is working.
They wouldn't have been able to hear it without the software anyway. You weren't talking at the time, so.
Gotcha. Now the question is, do I give this guy eyebrows? Probably not.
His eyebrows were lost at sea. Blown away in the wind. It's raining in San Diego today, huh? It's been raining a lot in SoCal.
All right, I think we need some white paint now. So I'm starting making some white paint into my golden skin tone to get even brighter highlights. One thing I am noticing about this paint, compared to my Yosonia that I'm typically comfortable with is that on the palette there seems to be a thinner paint around the base of it, which I'm assuming is the medium probably coming out of the paint, and then up top it's obviously thicker. But with my Yosonia, I don't see as much of a thin puddle around the paint as I do the other ones. This is mostly an observation. I don't really know what that means about the paint. Maybe that it's more hydrophilic, as in it's attracted to water more than other mediums are. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. But yeah, interesting. What up, Trevarian? How you doing, man? But yeah, it seems to be a little puddle of medium collecting around all of the scale-colored tube paints. Let's overdo it with some highlights, and then we'll reverse our work a little bit with some shadows. Hydrophil, attracting water, hydrophobic, repel water. Yep. Don't mess up, Scott. Trevarian is here. What is he gonna do to me if I mess up? Is he gonna spank me? Man, the paint really does dry quite darker than when you first put it on. It's interesting.
I told you, bro. I told you about paint being paint.
Did you?
No. All right, that face is looking pretty good. Let's bust out the resin mixing stuff and get to work on making some bases.
Just fuck it up. Yeah. Let's get to work on some resin bases. Yeah. Aside from Warhammer, where can I get some cool varied minis to paint? I've painted enough Space Marines for 2 lifetimes. I'd love to get some minis with some other themes and styles. Yes, Rufus, that was too soon. I mean, there are just so many answers to this question. Is there a certain kind of thing you're looking for? Are you looking for a 32 millimeter scale, like sci-fi models? Or are you looking for busts? Are you looking for fantasy?
Are you looking for something that you can use in a game?
We got Trevarian right here. He sculpts beautiful models on his website. Trav, you can drop a link if you'd like. Wonderful busts. Evan's gonna have to
click the permit button.
Yeah. There you go. You have 60 seconds to post a link if you want to.
Yeah, it depends on what you're after, for sure, though.
Board game. Okay, never mind. His stuff is sold out.
And no budget to get new stock in. That's not how you're supposed to run that business.
Yeah.
You're supposed to use the money to make more stuff to sell.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know what you're looking for, and I can certainly give you a recommendation.
I got an off-the-wall recommendation.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's a pretty good choice, Terrarian. If you're looking for fantasy minis, you know what minis that still stick in my mind that I really like?
What's that?
This one's from Super Fantasy Brawl.
Yeah.
Those are pretty sweet. A nice little variety. And that game was really fun. And if you just buy the base box, not like all the expansions or whatever, you just have a few to work through that kind of mix things up big time before you decide on your next big project. We need to play that game again. We need to get that game.
We don't have that game, yeah.
Well, we were going to get it, and then it was like, well, we want to get the complete one. And then the company was like, we don't know when it'll be back in stock, and we were all big sad, and then it hasn't happened, so.
Oh God. Don't mind me just obliterating my eyeball that I worked on. All
I hate that.
We're good.
That's why I don't paint eyes.
There you go. It's okay, I fixed it. The paint is so thin and so delicate that with a little bit of water, it kind of just sponged it right away. Easy.
I don't know what head I'm going to put on this guy.
Did you not? Oh. Is it a not helmeted head?
It has a Stormcast helmet. You know how I feel about those. Although this one's pretty cool because he's like a space pope, so he has kind of a space popey head.
Pope.
And I didn't really commission a space pope helmet, but
I suppose you could.
I probably can find one.
All right. Now, with the head kind of coming together here in terms of highlights and shadows, with a bearded face, and also in this guy's case, he's got hair like all around his head. I'm gonna paint the hair, just give it a nice base coat around his face, just kind of see what the face looks like, because it's gonna look really different once I have all that kind of like brownish, blondish hair around his head. I'll get a brown. Let's see what we can do. Space Pope, host to host. Nice. Do you think there is space in this hobby for indie games to do well? You know, I might have said yes to that question, but I just know of so many people who are trying to make games and not finding success, or rather the success that they want to find. And I don't know enough about games to really understand like what is needed. What is needed? Is it just persistence? Like, is it just if you just stick to it for long enough, you'll find success if your game is good? Or is there something else that you need to do to make a game really kind of stick out there in the market and be popular? One page rules is an exception to this. For whatever reason, people really like that game. I've never played it, so I can't speak to why people like it. Maybe it's just the rules. Maybe it's the way that they present the rules. Maybe it's the way they sell the rules. Like, if anyone knows, let me know why you think one page rules is as good as it is. I'm curious, because that is one that I have heard a lot from other people in the last 2-3 months.
There's this interesting thing. Rufus Kit says, from what I can tell, most gamers don't want games to be miniatures agnostic.
Yes. Oh my God, absolutely.
I think that's true in the wargaming space. It's one of those things where wargamers really want the game to have a miniatures identity, but the other side of the hobby, which is the people buying minis for D&D and Pathfinder and Lancer and all that stuff, are, of course, it's miniatures agnostic. It has to be. They buy a lot of minis, but they're not buying just the specific ones that fit into the theme in the book of the game or whatever.
You know, okay, so I do have an answer to this question. Was the question, how do indie games thrive? Is that kind of what the question was?
Yeah.
You gotta have good models. Like, that is, if GW's success has taught us anything about having a good game, the game is second to fantastic models. I think there are so many companies that just don't understand that. If you want, this is a very physical, it's a very collectible hobby. You need to have good collectibles. It's not about necessarily the rules. You need to have like a really compelling model range to go with it. That is your number one concern.
You also need to have enough variety in the models to speak to the various types of consumers. I think there are quite a few games that never get past the launch of 2 factions, and they needed to have more factions because those 2 don't speak to a lot of players.
Yes. There are some interesting answers here to my question about OPR. The rules are very slick and polished. You have direct access to the dude writing the rules, so the balancing receives constant feedback. It's affordable. It's easy to learn and fast to play. No overcomplication of the rules. No codex creep. Miniature agnostic, balanced, simple, free. So many brands before OPR have done those exact things and have not found success.
I mean, there's also a piece to this too, which is just a game that is successful because it's successful. I know that sounds circular, but like, for instance, Song of Ice and Fire, part of the reason that it's done well is because it's done well enough that there are people to play it with. You have to hit that critical point that someone is able to play a game with you.
Oh, so it's like widespread enough to the point where
Right.
you
It's
can find a
available
game?
enough. There's enough people willing to try it who have bought onto a Kickstarter or whatever to get things rolling. Because if there's only ever the one first box, some people pick it up and they go, wow, this is really cool, but there's no one to play it with. And you see the same thing in the RPG space. There's a million different RPGs, but it's often a struggle to find people who want to branch out and try a different game unless everyone buys in all at once. And so we have a big song scene here in the Twin Cities, and some other cities do too. But I also know that there are other places in the United States where there are people who own the game and go, how is this game even still going? No one plays this, because they don't have like that critical mass of people willing to play the game.
Huddleston asks, how do you feel about a game company having specific models for heroes and offering models for creeps, but being largely agnostic? I don't know what the term creeps is supposed to mean here in this instance.
Probably just like chaff units, non-named characters.
Doesn't that sound so? It sounds like a game that provides models for everything, heroes and chaff. What else is there? I'm confused.
If the heroes were mandatory models, but the chaff were miniatures agnostic, we have models, or you can use your own.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
I like an idea like that. That's cool. If you had really bitchin' generals, and then you just were like, yeah, we also have like goblins and stuff, but if you want to make your own goblins, that's cool. We just expect you to show up with one of the 20 generals in the game or whatever. And that's what dictates your rules. That would be interesting.
I mean, I'm fine with that if that allows a company to kind of get started. Because, like, obviously, it's difficult to, like, create an entire range. Like, imagine making compelling models for 2 armies worth of figures.
Yeah.
3 units, 4 units, 1 to 2 characters. Holy fuck. That's hard and expensive. So if doing something like Huddleston suggests, where you're creating characters first, and then maybe if you get the ball rolling, then you can start to make other units and stuff, I'm game for that. But I think as a company, if you want to find success, you need to have an aesthetic IP that is distinguishable. Like another brand that I think that is hugely popular in our space is KDM.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're so different than GW, and they're so distinct visually and aesthetically, and they're so identifiable. It's just like, I think that is the end game, but maybe you can get to that end game through a variety of steps.
No, I think that's a really good point.
GW is like a social media. They have market share. Market
Yeah.
share gives them feature advantages, great minis, manufacturing, marketing, and this creates a cycle for them.
And availability. I think that's another thing that really kills war games, is that they are only available online and there is no marketing reach and all that stuff. If you're in stores, the game is going to get played to some degree. That's the big market advantage that like CMON has, and GW and other companies like that, where they're established enough that they can go, we are starting this new game. Carry it.
Right.
And stores go, sweet, we'll give it a try.
Right.
If it doesn't go well, eventually they might blow it out. But like, real companies have the market mover advantage of being like, we are introducing Age of Sigmar. You're a GW retailer, you will carry this.
Right.
And some people will buy it and play it, and they'll be like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's interesting, right? We don't have an example of an indie company thriving and reaching like large levels of notoriety. Like maybe you could say that, what was that game you wanted to play on the weekends at Fantasy Flight?
Conquest?
Maybe Conquest is an example of that.
I'm not even sure that is.
Where did
Isn't
Conquest come from?
owned by a studio that's owned by Asmodee or something like that? I'm not positive.
Oh, I don't know about that. Parabellum. Get to the end game through boobs equals KDM. Nice. I like Kickstarter board games with lots of miniatures. All right. This is a little bit different of a thing. miniature war games, the implication of miniature war games when compared to board games is that you are supporting this system for the long term. Board games have like, you know, a couple expansions, like imagine in like a 500 expansions, right? And constant rule updates and constant changes and like trying to develop a community around it. Like a board game is much more, is the word ancillary, much more one-off than a miniature war game. But yeah, it's an interesting conversation.
Sorry, they're not owned by Asmodee, but they are distributed by Asmodee.
Okay. And that definitely helps with like reach and visibility for sure. Infinity maybe. I feel like Infinity is just still obscure and no one knows what that game is. And they've been around forever, so it feels like they need to do something different.
Yeah, Infinity has been around forever. When I was first getting into it, I was like, what the hell? This game is like 20 years old.
Yeah.
And I had never heard of it before. I think the reach on a lot of this stuff, it's easy to fall into our own little holes too. The people in this chat probably know of more war games than 90% of the market.
That's definitely possibly true.
Because there's a lot of people who just play like Warhammer, and that's all that wargaming is to them.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Scott and I are also lucky enough to live in one of the primary locales for all of this kind of stuff. It's not just that the source is like really cool. There's just a ton of miniatures, wargaming, all that kind of stuff, development and distribution here. Because Asmodee North America is headquartered here in Minnesota.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate. Rufus Kit's theory says, if you want to make a successful game, give game stores a reason to be excited about selling your product.
True.
So what you're saying, Rufus, is that the key to success is to get your product in game stores, period. Right? Because if they're excited about it, then they're going to carry it, then you get outreach, and, visibility in your product, people buy it. So you need to get your games in stores, period, right? Is that a fair simplification of what you just said? When I started wargaming, it was War Machine and BattleTech.
BattleTech's still growing strong, baby.
BattleTech is definitely like off on the side, kind of doing its own thing, and it definitely has like a huge following.
Only getting bigger, too.
Yeah.
I really need to try out Alpha Strike.
Man, I mean, I don't know if I use a different paint range, if I'd get better opacity, but fucking hey, dude. The opacity over white of this paint is absolute trash. It's gonna take me like 5 bazillion years to get a dark base coat of this paint. Game stores are the best marketers for a game, and if they're excited about your game, about playing and selling it, you will be successful. That's so
true.
Interesting. It's so interesting because like that does not follow conventional wisdom, right? I feel like
conventional wisdom is wrong.
Conventional wisdom would say that you just need social media marketing, right? You just need to be able to have people see your game on the internet and then buy the product. But what happens to a miniature war game when people buy the product and then don't play the game? Does the game just die? Does it just die?
It dies.
And so in that regard, you need your product in stores to be being played. Because if it isn't played, then it is dying, right? That's so interesting because like everyone's saying brick and mortar is dying, like stores are dying, but like for a miniature war game, it almost sounds like it's necessary. This is a theory. I don't know if it's true.
I think that's the American way of putting it to some degree. We don't really have wargaming clubs here the same way they do in like the UK.
Yeah. Where
instead of it being a store, it's literally just a place where people who want to play war games get together.
Yeah.
But yeah, from our perspective, I think that's very true. It's why I play Song. I had seen your video before I bought into the game, but it never really even occurred to me that it would be something I'd be interested in doing. But when Paint Night restarted and I saw a couple of games played at the store, and then Scott, our friend Scott at the store, not you, walked me through it. I was like, this sounds awesome. So I would not play that game if it weren't for the fact that the store plays the game. And I think that that's true of a lot of games and gamers.
And so that's the theory right there. Is
Yeah.
that true of a lot of people? Is that how people find games?
I think it is.
Okay.
I think that's also why wargaming conventions are so important. Like when I went to Gen Con, a huge point of Gen Con for the smaller games is our game isn't in stores, but we will show it to you here. We will give you that experience. That's why I bought Firefight. I had already bought into Arena Rex off of the models, but that's kind of like why Arena Rex seems to be there. Because a lot of stores can't afford to carry something that niche. But you go to the con, they can first party sell it and rep it that way. Get you excited about the product with a demo. Thank you for the 100 bits, Storm Dragon Dog. No, Storm Dragon DRG. Deep Rock Galactic?
Deep Rock Galactic. All right, let's hear from the people. OPR being the exception again with their very successful guerrilla-style free-to-play model. Another thing that I believe is helping OPR is Mini Wargaming and Goobertown doing their big game. That is true, but what got them to that point of view? Or sorry, what got them to that point where, like, they have people like Mini Wargaming and OP and Dave reaching out to them? Like, why was that the first game they thought of to do that thing? Because as I understand it, a company approached Dave and was like, I want to do this cool battle report. What game should we use? And then either Goobertown or Dave recommended OPR. So something about OPR got them recommended, got the foot in the door in the first place.
Yeah.
This is kind of a egg and a chicken situation, right? It's like, so I'm just curious what got them that notoriety in the first place. Zolteris says it's 50-50 game stores and players, because if you interest a shop and not the players, then no one's going to buy it, but the shops will have it. However, if you get the players interested, then they won't ask their stores to supply. Right. I think it obviously is both. You can't just get it in the stores. You also need it to be purchased as well. My issue with smaller game systems is that my hobby time is limited. Playing Lord of the Rings from GW as a kid, restarted it with Kill Team as an adult. I just don't have time for a lot of gaming systems. Okay. I'm not sure if there's much of an answer to that. You need to play whatever you want to play with your limited time, I suppose.
I wonder if this is something that you could do an in-depth report on.
Yeah, you absolutely could.
Well, I just don't know if it's an actually answerable question.
Well, I mean, like, any answer that you would ever get would be theoretical.
That's not good enough, Scott. I want hard facts.
I don't know if that's possible, honestly.
It's probably not. But, I'm a big fan of, people make games and no clip and stuff like that. It would be very interesting to me what kind of things the market will and won't bear, what has been successful, what hasn't been. Where's the blueprint for success? It seems like a company like CMON has decided that the best approach to launch a game is a Kickstarter for sure, because it puts it in enough people's hands to get that critical mass of people playing the game. And that seems to be like the point of that approach. Also, Storm Dragon DRG resubscribed with Prime.
Hey.
1 year anniversary.
Very nice.
Well done.
If you guys are interested, we're doing a sub giveaway at 50 subs for this Scale 75 Instant Paint. A great way to sub is with Prime. If you have a Amazon Prime account, you can hook it up to your Twitch to sub to one free Twitch channel a month. You have to re-up it every single time. It doesn't happen automatically. But when we get to 50, we'll give this sucker away to any one of the viewers here. Thank you, Storm DRG. What about Broken Anvil's success? So here's the sad part about Broken Anvil is that, okay, I guess in the context of games, they made Rivenstone. Rivenstone was a compelling system. It was interesting. I enjoyed the game. It wasn't bad at all. I didn't like it as much as I liked Song when I initially played that. But it was better than any GW game I've ever played, other than maybe Kill Team. But I don't know, it's nowhere. I haven't heard about it in a long time. So what's the deal? What's going on? Is that success? I don't know. Personally, I didn't really care for the models much. Like, I wasn't super into the aesthetic, the kind of World of Warcraft, very exaggerated proportions, cartoonish fantasy world. People are into that, me not so much. But yeah. So can we call it success? I don't know. Storm DRG gets in 5 subs. Hell yeah.
Damn right.
Thank you, Storm DRG. Dragon DRG. Enzo Terrace with the Prime sub. Thank you guys so much for the subs. We appreciate it. Comrade Kesh says, got into Warhammer during COVID, quickly got bogged down with the rule creep and needing 100 books, especially starting as a Tyranid player.
Rip.
And got it all simpled down to 1 or 2 pages and far, far cheaper from OPR. So I could actually just have fun and not feel like I needed nighttime college courses to build an army. I feel that way about fucking Age of Sigmar, bro. Jesus fucking Christ. How do you write a list in that game? I have no fucking clue. I have a clue now, but man. Still waiting on Riven Zone fulfillment. Lost a lot of hype for that game. Okay, so maybe that game is dying in production right now.
I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of games that, unless they have big backing to start with, they just kind of they fall off the cliff. But maybe I'm wrong. You know, like there are games that don't get played locally, but I know are successful.
Like what?
Honestly, we don't have that big an MCP scene here. It's played here, but, you know, it's carried a lot. People love the models. But there is not a MCP night at the Source, for instance. And then there are games that kind of do okay for a long time and then get canned in favor of putting effort into other stuff. Guild Ball.
No. I would have made that game so great. I wouldn't have. Ah, man. Fucking Guild Ball. I'm curious. I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I'm curious where Song would be as a game system had I not made several videos that got hundreds of thousands of views about it. I don't know how much of an impact those videos made on the health of the game, but I'm curious.
Definitely one of those things probably impossible to quantify.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
You know, last week, someone posted that you were painting Silenced Men on the Big Song Discord, and there were like 2 or 3 responses that are like, he's the reason I play this game. Because they discovered it through, you know, the video about like, it's your new favorite game or whatever.
Yeah.
And so absolutely you brought some people to it.
For sure, yeah, for sure. Okay. So I'm never going to get to the point, and Miniac found it at a local store. I think I found it at a convention, but I did buy a lot of stuff from a local store. But good point, Rufus.
Yeah, you first saw it at Adepticon, right?
Yeah, I saw it at Adepticon in 2016, wrote it off, and then Curtis was living in my house as a roommate for a long time, and he's like, I want to play a miniature war game. I always have. And I was like, well, I know this one that is Game of Thrones themed, and I know you like Game of Thrones. Let's try it out. So we did, and it was fucking amazing. Italian Spartacus rating with our party at 24. Thank you for the raid, guys. Dreamer's Vault plays MCP, if I remember correctly. Nice. I have not bought into Kill Team yet, but looking at the list builder on the site makes me confused. It is confusing. Welcome, Italian Spartacus. Thank you for the raid. We appreciate it. Scott is the reason it lives. I don't want to say that. I don't want to like give myself too much credit. I'm just curious, but yeah.
You should, because then we can use that as a marketing point to get more game companies to advertise with you.
There it is.
Only reason that game has 35 new SKUs a year and is internationally popular is because of Scott. 100%.
That's all I want to hear.
That's right. We have seen Shatterpoint. We talked about it on a stream. Was that 3-4 weeks ago?
Shatterpoint.
The new Star Wars game that's sort of like MCP scale.
Oh my god, I want to play that game so badly.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Are there models yet for it or what?
No, there's some light previews and so on, but I don't think that game is anywhere close to release.
Okay. Shame. Randy G. Biv says, okay, I agree a little bit about OPR being a spin-off of Warhammer. It absolutely is. However, I think
totally legally distinct. Do not sue.
Yeah. However, I think that GW's game is, at so many times, a marketing arm. Their game only exists to sell models. It's uploaded past what it should be, which is actually OPR plus a little bit. Yeah, I think I agree with what you're saying. which is effectively GW doesn't care about the game so much, but they care more about the models, which is definitely is true to a certain degree. It releases in June? What? I think Kings of War could be way more popular if the minis line wasn't so trash. Abso-fucking-lutely. Okay, someone's got to say it, right? Some of the models are okay, but they're just not amazing. Mantic, you guys don't get it. You need better models. Okay, I said it. Do you guys think there's a difference between war games you play at your house and a war game you play at an LGS? Are they different? Yeah. I would say if your game is easier to play at home, it's going to get played more often, but a game played at an LGS is more of a marketing tool because people can see you playing it?
For sure.
I don't know.
Pretty much every time during song night, someone will wander over and go, "Wow, what's this?"
Yeah, and man, the number of times that happened to me while playing war games in a store,
Yeah.
so fucking often. What are you guys doing? What is this?
Wow.
Look at
I didn't
you.
realize you could use minis this way.
You fucking cute little nerds. What are you doing?
I don't get that line so much.
No, you don't. All right, now that we have kind of a barrier of hair to work inside, I'm gonna start adding some warmth to the cheeks with some of this red paint, maybe increasing the shadow a little bit, maybe softening out some of these blends, because they're a little chunky right now. Stares at piles of Mantic models. Goddamn. Dead Zone felt like it was dead on arrival. I never played Dead Zone, but I'd be willing.
I tried Dead Zone at Gen Con and really liked it. And like I said, I bought Firefight, and you can play Dead Zone with the Firefight minis. And I built half of my Firefight force. I built all the orcs, and then I was like, I just don't want to build the rest of this right now. And so it is sat for 8 months.
Rip.
Apparently that Star Wars game is coming out in June.
Woo!
If that's true, maybe someone at Asmodee needs to talk to us and get us that a little early so we can do a preview stream.
Maybe someone needs to give me a Sith warband right now.
I'm so game. If there are good models and there are good bad guy models, I will eat that shit up. 100%. You should have a what game I'm playing card you could give people that ask those questions.
Oh, no, it doesn't bother us ever when people walk up and are curious about the game that we're playing.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need a little info card to dismiss people. It says, sorry, I don't answer questions. We're playing Song of Ice and Fire. Please don't interfere with our game.
I don't know if he necessarily meant that. I don't know if his question had that kind of energy.
I don't know. The other option is to put a sign on the table, which people will immediately ignore and ask you anyway.
Yeah.
Because signs do not get read by like 90% of people. Take this card and get out of here.
Dead Zone is a game I'm currently painting mini for. Haven't had the chance to try the game yet, but it seems like a nice system. What is everyone's thoughts on airbrushing primer? It's good. It's slower than aerosol, but it's good. Asmodee pre-order says 6/2/2023. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think one thing I'm noticing about, and this is not so much me talking about the paint range as it is something else, but starting from a white primer really brightens up the face a lot. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if this is not a conclusive test about this paint.
Draw conclusions.
This paint is not designed for painting 32 mil models, I think. I think it's for larger figures.
For painting perhaps 75 millimeter models?
Maybe.
Interesting.
I wonder.
Why would they do that?
Kind of funny how that works out. The name of the company being Scale 75.
Latino Hot says, Not gonna lie, this dude looks biblical. Law might just be me. Yeah, I can kind of see it. He's got like that classic Christian movie Moses vibe.
I mean, he's even holding the scroll.
Oh, hey, here's a movie shout out that something that people should rewatch. The DreamWorks animated Prince of Egypt. That movie is fantastic.
I have a friend who fucking loves that movie.
You can put me in that category too.
Okay.
I had like completely forgotten it exists until like a week ago when it came across my YouTube feed and I rewatched it and I'm like, oh yeah, this movie is fucking phenomenal. The video that I watched pointed out that it's like Despicable Me 2 is in like many top 100 animated films brackets, and that's not, and that's like a crime. And I'm like, that's true, man. 100%.
So many people sounding off about Prince of Egypt in the chat.
That movie is good, Scott.
Oh my god, dude. I need to watch it again. I thought it was just a joke.
Man.
Herumfenstein is saying the shadow point models look good, which means that there are models visible on the internet.
Yes, there are models visible on the...
Show me the fucking models.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. Jerry Maguire. PLB is so good. Oh, that's Prince of Egypt, not Path of Exile.
Oh, apparently they're not releasing any Sith models.
Are you memeing right now?
Of course I'm memeing.
Okay, good. Jesus fucking Christ. I would like drive to Asmodee and like just scream at the building.
Let's go to Roseville right now. We're gonna cause some ruckus.
Yeah. I would actually just yell at the building.
That works. Okay. Paint plus web. Whatcha?
We got higher res pics.
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I do not.
These look okay. I think my favorite one that I can see on screen right now is the Boba Fett in the bottom right. That one I would actually enjoy painting. The rest, they're okay. The Darth Maul looks pretty good. The sabers are 100% going to be pre-bent. Yes,
Yeah.
Probably, yes.
Thanks. There we go. Okay, so here's...
Okay, I like the good guys more than the bad guys. These guys look better. I don't know why. Oh, hey, that's a 6 set. Cool.
Yeah, it looks neat.
Yeah.
As many. Atomic Mass Games, send us this core box. We'll preview the game on stream.
100%. They won't be painted, though. Those are Darth Maul's Mandalorian followers. That's fucking cool. That's a storyline.
Sure.
Yeah, the guy on the bottom right is awesome. Also, the kneeling, what I assume is a female Mandalorian, looks really cool.
I think yeah, all these Mandalorian models on the bottom are pretty sweet. You've got the one that has like, I want to be Darth Maul when I grow up horns on it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I've never liked the people from episode 1, the troops.
The battle droids?
They've always looked stupid to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the point, is that they're like children's cartoon characters that you can be needlessly violent to and not feel bad because droids don't have souls, so it's okay.
Everyone's saying that I should watch Clone Wars. I might.
It's all right. It has some really great stuff in it, and then it's a lot of okay stuff.
Yeah. I want to see that female character with the 2 red sabers in a better picture, because that might just be a shitty paint job making that mountain look good. I can't really see it.
I'll poke around a bit.
It's a children's show, Kappa.
Yeah, all animated shows are for children.
Yeah, of
Only
course.
animated movies can be for adults.
Yes.
Yeah, I would really like to see some pictures of these in raw plastic, honestly.
Yeah. All right. We'll probably call it there. I like the first face I painted more. My conclusion about this paint is that I would not paint a 32 mil model with it. It is too much of a faff. because of the aforementioned issue of needing more water to get to a workable consistency for my painting style, making it thinner and more diluted and more transparent. It's just inconvenient. On a bigger model where texture isn't as much of an issue, maybe it'd be better, and that might be a more applicable application, a better application of this paint. But again, this is a very small and very unscientific test, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt.
There you go. That's the best I can find.
All right, that's better. Darth Maul is looking better. Why is he standing like this? You know, just like it's like he's almost like mirrored. It's like look at my dick.
Yeah.
You know?
That's like the iconic Darth Maul pose.
What the fuck?
It's something that listen, the choreography in episode 1 for the fights was actually really bad. And that's one of the things that people point to is that he just holds his lightsaber out sideways like that with that weird wide horse riding stance.
Yeah.
That is like literally a pose from the film, and it looks that janky in the movie as soon as you think about it for a moment. You're like, you're just asking to get kicked in the balls or something.
Yeah.
Also, why don't they just hit each other with the Force? You can move things. Why couldn't you punch things? Just punch each other in the balls with the Force.
Especially with a pose like that.
Yeah, exactly. He's just leaving himself open to it. Just hit him right in the nuts with a Force leg kick.
They
Boom.
do. They actually hit each other in the dick in the actual show.
Yeah, I want. That's what I'm looking for.
Dick shot. What the fuck? It's not fair.
Yeah, exactly. And then Darth Maul goes, "Oh, my balls," and falls into the pit. Better version of episode 1.
Flawless Smith says a nut force choke. It's like, oh, it's like, oh god.
Is this some autoerotic asphyxiation stuff now? God.
That is a specific martial style, and the horse stance is not good for the Force. I mean, I'm not sure how true that is, but what I do know is it looks stupid.
It's big dumb.
I mean, like, I'm cool with the top thing. I'm cool with that. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I don't even mind one leg being bent out like that, but I think there needs to be a little bit different of emotion. I don't know. It is my preference, but everyone can have different preferences. Force testicular torsion. Anything about the Force is absolutely true. All right, y'all. It's 4:11. Who should we host? We're gonna get out of here. It's Valentine's Day, so I want to make sure I get home at a reasonable time to hang out with the wifey. I feel like the sculptor was too used to ridiculous marble poses. Possibly, maybe.
That's also probably true.
Apparently, it's a real martial arts pose, though, that is not suited to the Force. The horse stance is not... Oh, the horse stance. Like, he's riding a horse. I get it.
Yeah.
Get it.
That's like some Taekwondo stuff that you would never use in a fight, basically. Because you would just kicked in the balls.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for all the subs. We had 31 subs this stream. I really appreciate it, guys. It's awesome.
Is Monument just starting or just ending?
It's hard to know.
He's just starting. Let's raid Monument.
All right, we'll do Jason Craze over at Monument. Give some love to Jason. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the kind words. Thanks for the compelling chatter. Hopefully the small foray into Scale Color Artist 2 paints was of interest to someone. I'll let you guys know. I'll put the lid on this wet palette and let you know how the paint reacts when it's kind of in a typical wet palette situation. But yeah, guys, I'll see you this Thursday for a game of A Song of Ice and Fire. If you want to see this painted unit in a game coming out same place, 7 p.m. CST for a game of A Song of Ice and Fire versus me and Curtis's Targaryens. Otherwise, we'll send you over to Jason. Happy Valentine's Day to all the viewers. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. See you.